seemed to care that there was a person around whatsoever. Just moseying on through the neighborhood.
Elijah, good morning to you.
Good morning, Greg. Yeah, it's a very fitting start to a Friday the 13th, I will say.
Yeah.
And his armadillo meeting.
It wasn't a black cat, at least. It was an armadillo. I don't know if there's a bad luck to an armadillo walking in front of you.
Well, I got a black cat in my living room, so, I'm not that superstitious. But as far as, like, exotic, and I don't know if you consider armadillo exotic, right? I mean, it's obviously they have them in this area. Now, the black bear that came into DeSoto County, or an alligator that you see, I guess, every once in a while, I would say I had a fox and a couple of the little, I don't know, what would you call the children of a fox?
I think they're called kits.
Kits. I saw them kind of walking through my old residence in Cordova behind the pool. They're just walking, moseying through. How about you out there where you live? Any elephants, tigers?
No, but there are a lot of snakes. There are a lot of reptiles and amphibians. I live by a lake, so we get a lot of aquatic wildlife.
Oh, Eli, you would love that.
No black bears?
No black bears,
That darn
fortunately.
black bear just continues to make. I don't know. He's like, it's almost like he will not come north of the border into Memphis. Everything is in DeSoto County. There's constant videos of this bear running around DeSoto County.
I'm telling you, he's going back down to Oxford eventually. It's the black bear. It's the mascot for the Rebels. So yesterday, I know you played some golf. I played some golf as well. This has never happened. I've never seen it before. I will probably never see it again. It's still unbelievable what happened. First hole, Galloway. I hit my approach shot into the upper portion of the bunker. Right? Just missed the top. But I know it went in the bunker. Get over there. The four of us, we can't find the ball. Okay, so it's got to be buried, right? Even though it was a little fluffy, but for the most part, fairly hard, the bunkers. We had a lot of rain. I took the rake, Eli, and I'm telling you, I'm so pissed. It's hole number one. I'm sweating to death already. It's hole one. We just got out of the cars. And I'm raking to try to find the ball. Can't find the ball. Never found the ball. I don't know how it's even possible.
I don't know. I don't know how that's possible either.
A journey to the center of the earth? Did it go into the sand, into the bunker and down to like hell? Where did it go? So that was disheartening. In the meantime, the best in the world, mixed results, but mostly a little bit disheartening, I would say, because of the toughness of Oakmont. Round 2 is underway. Brooks Koepka already out there on the course. One of the stories from round 1, a two-time U.S. Open winner. He's already bogeyed 1 and birdied 2 to get back to 2 under, which is where he stood yesterday. Your leader, J.J. Spawn. And every time I bring up J.J. Spawn's name to people, they go, what? J.J. Spawn? J.J. Spawn, believe it or not, is the 25th ranked player in the world. And he battled Rory at the Players' Championship. So he's a good player. But is it sustainable? I don't know. But a 4 under 66 for him. Thurston Lawrence. Was that Thurston Howe III? 3 under 67. He's from South Africa. These were the scores yesterday. And then there were 3 guys at 2 under. I mentioned Koepka. Siwoo Kim, Sung J M. There you go. That's your first round leader board. And again, early action in the second round. Scotty Scheffler, who shot 3 over round 1, the heavy favorite, already had a birdie, I know, on hole 1. So he's off and rolling in round number 2. Your thoughts on the U.S. Open?
J.J. Spawn's round yesterday, to play that golf course bogey-free is incredible. That's one of the best rounds of golf you're going to see. I mean, he just made. I mean, because anytime you're in that rough, certainly bogey is very much in play. I mean, Jordan Spieth just took a full swing at a ball and it went about 2 feet out of that rough. So you get in that stuff, you have no idea what's about to happen. And to play bogey free, to not have one time where that happens and it costs you a bogey, I am blown away by that round of golf.
Yeah.
It's just absolutely amazing. Dustin Johnson in 2016, his first round was bogey-free when he, of course, went on to win it. And that is the only other bogey-free round at Oakmont in the U.S. Open in the last 2 plus this times it's been played there. It's ridiculous to go out there and be bogey free. The Albatross by Patrick Reed yesterday.
How about that?
That was something that was just funny to watch him, because he had no idea he's like, the crowds were like, did it go in? He had no idea what the heck, what had happened.
For those who don't know, so what Patrick Reed did on his second shot on a par 5, he was 286 yards out. What did he use? Do you know? What did he hit? 3-wood?
It was 3-wood.
He dunked it for a double eagle, which is known in the golf world as an albatross, on the par 5 fourth hole. Remember, there's only 2 par 5s at Oakmont because it's a par 70, and he had the double eagle. That is just amazing. That is the 4th double eagle since the U.S. Open started keeping records. So I don't know when they started, but the 4th recorded double eagle.
The stretch that Victor Hovland had yesterday on 9, 10, and 11, the 3 approach shots all within like 3 feet of the hole was that also incredible. I mean, my goodness, when you just have 3 tap-in birdies in a row,
Yeah.
not a bad little stretch. And he didn't even play it, and he wasn't playing that well up to that point. Like all of a sudden, just out of the blue, it's like, all right, that one's to 2 feet. Oh, that one's to 3 feet. I mean, I was like, wow,
Makes it easier for you.
That is some ball striking.
And then, of course, he ended the day with the long birdie putt on 18. So Hovland ended up shooting 71, right? 1 over. Victor Hovland, Colin Morikawa, John Rahm, Adam Scott. These are names, and they're all hovering early. But even 3 overs, 4 overs, maybe even 5 overs, they're not horrible scores. You would think on the surface they are, but not for Oakmont, not for the U.S. Open.
Yeah, I think, I don't know what the scoring average ended up being. I know when I was watching it middle of the afternoon yesterday, it was just over 75 was average. I don't know what it ended up for the day.
There were big scores as well from some name players. Shane Lowry, boy, he struggled, and he was frustrated. 9 over par for Lowry. The bottom of the leaderboard, at the very, very bottom, it was George Dongmani with an 86. Roberto Diaz had an 85. Justin Hicks from the United States had an 84. I mean, somebody's got Justin Lowers on the tour, right? He's a regular tour guy, isn't he? 83.
Will Chandler, and I don't know anything about Will Chandler, bit of a rough start today. He is 9 over through 4.
Ooh.
Just things are not going well for Mr. Chandler on his Friday. He has gone 6-6-8-6.
Not good.
That's
no bueno.
That is it's a rough go to get your day started.
I'm trying to. We're watching the Open as we talk to you here on a big monitor in our studio, and I'm trying to look at the conditions. Looks like overcast, and it looks like the wind's blowing a little bit more than it was. Obviously, when we were on yesterday, the tournament started out, there was no wind. We made that point. Then as the day progressed, it got a lot windier. I'm looking at the flag right here on 15, and it's barely moving, but I saw some of the flags up in the grandstands, and they were moving a little bit. So, but not too bad. Again, conditions pretty decent, and they need every little bit of help they can get. So we'll keep you updated over the course of the next 3 hours at the U.S. Open. John Morant, no longer represented by friend of the show, Mike Miller, and his company, Lift Sports Management. He had only been with him for, over a year? 2024, I think he
not sure.
joined?
I can't remember exactly when he left his old agent and joined Mike. I'm not sure when that was.
Not that you know, but any guess, any speculation what happened there?
No idea.
It's a quick relationship.
Yeah, no idea. No clue.
Yeah, so I don't know what that means. I don't think it means anything as far as John, his relationship with the Grizzlies or Memphis or anything like that. But I don't know. I don't know if we'll ever find out why, but players change agents all the time. But now this will be once he hires a new agency, it'll be the third already. Correct? For Ja? Number 3. If not 4. 3, right?
Well, obviously it'd be 3. I don't know if he had anybody before.
Right. That's what I was thinking.
One that he left to join Mike. I have no idea.
The NBA Finals resume tonight. Game 4, Oklahoma City, a 5.5-point favorite at Indiana, 7:30 on ABC. We'll talk more about that later. And then last night in the Stanley Cup Finals, and I know hockey's not everybody's cup of tea, but there's nothing like playoff hockey. And then you get to the finals, and you're battling for Lord's Stanley Cup. The intensity.
Lord Stanley's Cup.
Lord Stanley's Cup, you're right. The intensity revs up. Game 3 was an absolute blowout. Florida going back home for the first time in the series. The first 2 were in Edmonton. They split 2. They drilled the Oilers, no pun intended, 6-1. And it was a game that just featured all kinds. The Oilers lost their minds, penalties left and right. Florida took advantage of it. So a 6-1 win, they grab a 2-1 lead in the series, and they're cruising. They're the defending champions. They beat Edmonton last year. You come back, Game 4 last night, 1-0, 2-0, 3-0 early. Florida's up 3-0. They're coasting. This series is done. Even though it wouldn't clinch, mentally you got to think Edmonton's drained and they're shot. 3-1, 3-2, 3-3. Edmonton takes the lead 4-3. Where did that come from? On the road at Florida, down 3-0. Did Florida step off the accelerator? Edmonton and then Florida ties it up. So they go to overtime. Again, it's not going to decide the series, but for all intents and purposes, Florida wins. They're up 3-1. It's over. Edmonton wins it in overtime. A miraculous win. And they take it 5-4 and tie the series up at 2. So again, it's not everybody's cup of tea. But I love the intensity of playoff hockey and especially the Cup Finals. And now it's a best of 3. And Oklahoma City will try to do the same tonight in Indiana and make it a best of 3.
My guy, Leon Draisaitl. He's Mr. Overtime Goal.
Look at you throwing out the knowledge.
4th of the playoffs.
He's been incredible.
Set the record in the regular season as well with 6. The dude just loves overtime, apparently.
It's called clutch. That's a clutch player right there.
First road team to come back from 3 goals down and win in the Stanley Cup Finals since 1919.
Oh, man, you beat me to it. Look at you. You're not supposed to know anything about hockey.
The Black Sox. The Black Sox were around the last time that what we saw last night hadn't happened since the Black Sox were out there doing their thing.
Yeah, we had a little scandal back then in 1919. Elijah, do you watch hockey?
Very sparingly, but I'll tune into some highlights for the Stanley Cup Finals.
Yeah, it's just the intensity. It's just like the NBA. The NBA revs up in the postseason. So does the National Hockey League and the Stanley Cup Finals. Hey, maybe we'll get right? It's now down to a best 2 of 3. Perhaps we'll get a Game 7. Maybe we'll get an overtime Game 7 for all the marbles. That would be something incredible.
If we do, my money's on Draisaitl.
Also today, the College Baseball World Series begins in Omaha. And the Rocco Jello shots have begun, and a good start for Murray State, although they were given – it was almost like what we've had in the FedEx Cup playoffs for a number of years now, which is now gone the way of the dodo bird, where the player who's leading the number 1 gets the 12 – he's minus 12 to start off, the next guy's minus 10. They've done away with that. But did you know that they gave – Murray State like 100 shots to start off or something like that? They gave him a lead. They bought the shots for them, but they have jumped on it right now. I haven't seen the latest numbers, and you're battling LSU and Arkansas. You're battling 2 behemoths from the SEC, and especially LSU, because they've been there a lot. They like their Jello shots. But Murray State off to a good start. Probably a huge contingent for Murray, Kentucky, on hand in Omaha. It's a rarity for them.
I believe Ja's there, or he said he was going. So if Ja wants to, Ja can afford a lot of Jello shots.
I don't know if he partakes. Now, I know this.
Maybe that's what happened. Maybe Ja was going to Rocco's instead of Let It Fly up in Omaha, and Mike Mike was a little unhappy that he went to a different bar.
Yeah, my guess is Ja and Mike are not in Omaha together. But today, 2 games, Arizona and Coastal Carolina, 1 o'clock, and then Louisville and Oregon State, set to go at 6. Tomorrow, the aforementioned Racers of Murray State and UCLA at 1, so they'll have to battle that really good UCLA pitching staff. And then LSU, what's that, 7 titles does LSU have?
Yes, I believe that's correct.
LSU versus Arkansas. So 2 of the 8 teams, 25% are from the SEC, and they battle each other. Remember, it's double elimination. That one's scheduled to start at 6. Have you peeked in by chance on the forecast in Omaha? What's the weather looking like?
I have not.
It's a hit or miss, right, this time of the year, especially out there in the Midwest.
Yeah, I mean, it's. I'm sure there's a good chance at some point during the week they'll have some weather issues, but hopefully they'll be able to get everything in and get off to a smooth start today and through the weekend.
And again, a reminder, 8:05 for all you Memphis Tigers fans. Brendan Lewis will join us, one of the Memphis Tigers quarterbacks vying for the starting job, the transfer from Nevada who began at Colorado. Again, he'll join us at 8:05. But when we return, Johnny V, John Varlas, will join us to talk about, who knows, we'll talk about a lot of things with JV. Do want to tell you about one of our great sponsors, and that's Corky's. Corky's Ribs and Barbecue. Yeah, I know it's breakfast time right now. You're enjoying your Rice Krispies or your Count Chocula, but before too long, you'll be thinking lunch, thinking dinner. And when you do, think Corky's. Maybe this weekend, bring the family to Corky's. You'll be the hit of the family. I'm telling you. Mom, dad, kids will love it. I'm sure you've been there many times in the past. Also, Corky's Caters. They've been around for 40 years. They've been catering that entire time. No party is too large for them. Whatever it is coming up in your world, you want an event catered by Corky's, contact them. They'll start you out as low as $7.99 per person for that delicious slow-smoked barbecue. They set it up. They'll take it down, clean it up. It's like they weren't even there. But that taste will linger for a while because there's nothing like that taste of Corky's barbecue and even the aftertaste. It is a good thing. 4 locations, Poplar Avenue in Memphis, Poplar Avenue in Collierville, Germantown Parkway in Cordova, and Goodman Road in Olive Branch. I was over there on Thursday in East Memphis enjoying some Corky's. By the way, great service, great people that worked there with a smile on their face, and that really made me happy, made it a nice time out for lunch on Thursday, I think it is, when I went over there. And don't forget about their private party room. For whatever occasion you have coming up, maybe a little family reunion, a birthday celebration, an anniversary, Corky's can take care of you with their private party room at either the Cordova or the Olive Branch location. So choose, call, and reserve a time now. Corky's Ribs and Barbecue, open for lunch and dinner 7 days a week. You're tuned in to Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 at 98.5 FM.
We are Real Sports Talk. Sports 56 WHBQ. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM and 98.5 FM, as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Sports 56 and 95 FM.
At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises, just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it, because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets with vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com, so whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli with locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Poplar and Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli. It's wholesome food and no surprises.
I love my wife, But like most couples, we have different sleeping needs. One of us likes it warm, and the other prefers to stay cool. You can probably guess who's who. About 15 years ago, I set out on a mission to find the perfect fabric to keep us both comfortable. I found it in viscose from bamboo. I'm Tyler, founder of Cozy Earth. Cozy Earth offers the softest, most comfortable sheets, towels, PJs, joggers, and more. Our premium bamboo viscose fabric is incredibly soft, breathable, and moisture-wicking, helping regulate body temperature so you stay comfortable all day and night. Unbelievably cozy, ethically sourced, and designed to add a touch of luxury to your home. I believe so strongly that our sheets will turn your bed into a sanctuary that if you sleep in our sheets for 100 nights and don't absolutely love your experience, we will refund your money, no questions asked. I'm so confident that you'll love Cozy Earth that I guarantee it. It truly is the gift that keeps on giving. Go to CozyEarth.com and use code CozyComfort to save up to 40%. That's CozyEarth.com. Code CozyComfort.
Jenkins Floors and More invites you to the retail warehouse where they pass wholesale savings on to you. Jenkins Floors at 2356 Goodman Road in Horn Lake. Also stores in Cleveland, Mississippi and Little Rock. They specialize in flooring and carpeting, tile, plantation shutters, and blinds. Jenkins makes your life easy with a 2-week turnaround. Contractors, builders, or family projects call 662-469-9350 for a free estimate. Owners Timmy and Rebecca Jenkins say hello to Sports 56 fans and look forward to your business.
This Rebel Yell is back. The Rebel Yell online radio show is back on WHBQ Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Every Monday night at 6, hear the latest news on your Ole Miss Rebels with Nancy Porter with 24/7 Sports. Your Ole Miss defensive captain Mike Fitzsimmons, Gordon Ford covering SEC sports film, and former Ole Miss baseball announcer Gary Garvey from kickoff and through up to extra innings. Your Ole Miss Sports on the Rebel Yell Hotline show right here Monday night at 6 on Sports 56 560 AM and 98.5 FM. Your Mid-South Sports Station.
This traffic report on Sports 56 is brought to you by Pella Windows and Doors of Memphis and the Mid-South Pella Windows. The standard is affordable luxury.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. Wrapping up a couple of wrecks we already had earlier in the Midtown area up and down 240 there around Union and also I-40 at Chelsea. Traffic still moving at the moment on 55 coming up through DeSoto County and then through South Haven. Still a lot of heavy rain still trying to push to the north of Memphis. Be careful up in Tipton County. Dandelions, crabgrass, Lawn Solutions here in Memphis says not a problem. Call Lawn Solutions today at 867-5626. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Back to Sports 56 mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Just watched Justin Thomas on his third hole of the day, the 12th hole. He started on the back. On the par 5 third hole or fourth hole, whatever it is, fourth hole, 3-putt, 7 from 3 feet. He missed 2 putts that close. That's how tricky these greens are. Brooks Koepka, though, another birdie. He's 1 under for the day. He's now up to 3 under par. One of the players that's out early today after going out late yesterday and now tied with Thurston Lawrence III. Now, Thurston Lawrence, 1 behind J.J. Spawn, your first-round leader. It is Friday, and it is time to talk to John Varlas.
It's time for Greg and Eli's weekly visit with John Varlas. Check out John's prep sports coverage and much more at dailyredfin.com. John is brought to you by Shoot 360 Memphis, where the pros and preps go to get their shot on Shoot 360 Memphis. Now here's John Varlas with Greg and Eli.
He is the award-winning prep reporter from the Daily Memphian. He's John Varlas, but he's so much more. You can follow John on Twitter at John Varlas. He joins us every Friday all year long, most of the time in studio like he is today. And, of course, John is brought to you each and every week by the great folks at Shoot 360 Memphis. Good morning, John.
Yes, indeed. Shoot 360 Memphis. Give them a call, 901-779-3176. They we talk about them every week, but, it bears repeating that they are probably the city's #1 basketball skills development training facility. They will get you right in your shooting, in your passing, with the hands-on coaching they offer, the advanced technology used by pros like Steph Curry and other pros. to analyze all aspects of your shot, show you exactly what you're doing right, exactly what you're doing wrong, and show you exactly what you need to improve on. It's a great place. Lots of high school kids and teams and coaches have used it, and to help get their teams better. And it works for all age groups. And Greg, like you say, sometimes even if you want to go out there and maybe just have a fun workout and work up a sweat, that's something you could do as well. So give them a call again out there on Big Orange Road in Cordova, 901-779-3176. You can subscribe for a month. You can subscribe for longer. If you do subscribe and you do so online, please use promo code JV2025 so that they'll know I sent you. And that's it. Shoot 360 Memphis. They'll take care of you and get you right.
Johnny coming in looking sharp today with his golf attire. He's got his Callaway shirt on. I like that shirt.
As a Callaway.
Got his tea time later today.
Little flamingos on the shirt.
It's very, very sharp. Very sharp.
Well, you talked about it in the first segment as the Daily Memphians golf correspondent. I will be on the scene today at TPC Southland this morning for today's big developments, and
got to dress the part.
Dateline,
got
Memphis.
You got to look the part, man.
See what they got going on out there. No, it's fun. I always like covering the tournament. I like to joke. I'm certainly not the golf expert that either one of you guys are. In terms of the finer points of the game, but I can talk my way through a pretty good story, and I get the job done for.
I thought you when you first walked in, I thought you just in honor of the U.S. Open, you decided to dress in golf attire for today. But
no, it's a work day, but no, we're looking forward to it. I really like Joe Tomek, and I'm going to be listening later on when you have him on, and maybe by listening, I'll have an intelligent question to ask him later on. But no, they always do a terrific job out there at Southwind of taking care of me personally. So I've got nothing bad to say about the tournament here. It's a great thing, and they always do right by yours truly. So no complaints here.
We're less than 2 months away from that.
60
but anyway,
days. We got the email a couple of days ago.
There we go. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Now officially less than 2 months. All right, John. We always ask you to. We don't ask you, but we know that you always do have a bone to pick. Normally, you have more than one, but we narrow it down to one. What do you got this week?
Well, could I use my bone time to talk more about Leon Draisaitl? Actually, no. I'm serious, and this is gonna make Eli appreciate him even more. So
I don't think that's possible.
Well, no, you don't think? All right, well, strap in, buddy. So Draisaitl is an approximate translation of two German words. So dry means three, and Seidel is a stein or a mug used for drinking beer. So his name translates to Leon Three Mugs.
Nice.
So sounds like a member of the mafia.
So you gotta.
I stand corrected. I stand corrected. You did. Now I love him even more.
I knew you would. Given your affinity.
I would have thought dry meant dry. So I would have been like, see,
like the opposite.
I would have be the opposite.
No,
so now yes.
Yeah, no, it means three in German. Eins fein dry, and Seidel is a beer mug or a beer stein. So yeah, Leon Three Mugs.
Little German lesson along the way today.
Apparently, too, and I haven't been able to determine what this is in reference to or how he got it or anything like that. Apparently, his nickname there in the locker room is the human apple tree.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I mean that's definitely an interesting nickname.
Human apple tree.
Yeah.
He should be Mr. Overtime. That's really what he should be called, is Mr. Overtime. The dude has the regular season record and now the postseason record for overtime goals.
Mr. June, right?
He's Mr. June, Mr. Overtime,
Mr. Clutch. I mean, obviously.
Yeah, no, he's playing some good hockey, but no, I just figured out.
By the way, real quick,
Leon Three Mugs.
Do you watch hockey?
Leon Three
No,
Mugs.
I do not.
So you don't watch hockey.
I do not.
Eli fibs that he really knows hockey. Did a little studying to show off today, but he doesn't watch it.
That was the extent.
I've never said that I watch it. I don't lie. I've never said I watch it.
But I'm saying you had to read about it to know that stuff, because if you watch that stuff, you hear those facts. Yeah. They were brought up during broadcasts.
Well, sure, but I mean,
I didn't misrepresent anything.
No, I'm not saying you did.
Yeah, but it only.
You said I fibbed.
It only takes 30 seconds of read.
You made it sound like you were like so knowledgeable on hockey.
I just researched Leon Draisaitl for 30 seconds in the parking lot, and fooled you guys, right?
Exactly.
I thought you were maybe fluent in German.
You did fool me.
You're not fluent in German?
No, but I can count to 10 in a few different languages. I mean, that's not.
I can do it in Spanish.
Ladies and gentlemen,
That's certainly.
I can do it. In
listen
Spanish.
up to
What
this.
Other,
Wait a minute.
What
here.
other languages?
Wake up the
What
kids.
languages can you count to 10 in?
I can count
Spanish for sure.
Spanish. I can count to 10 in English.
I can't. I can't get English. English, I always forget 7.
I can count to 10 in Greek.
All right, give us count to 10 in Greek.
And ena, δύο, τρία, τέσσερα, πέντε, έξι, εφτά, οχτώ, εννιά, δέκα.
Is he right? Is he correct, folks?
No, I heard one wrong.
Yeah, I
one of
I
those
don't
was
know. I
wrong.
think he's lying.
I think you skipped 4.
No,
pretty impressive.
I can do French. I mean, yeah, but that's certainly not fluent. But yeah, that's just
That's not too bad.
just a little party trick.
Well, we a little party trick.
Big hit at the party. The girls get all the girls with those. You want to hear? You want to hear 1 to 10 in Greek?
Oh, yeah.
got that one too.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, when you
Now-
pull out the Greek, that's the big
Now,
one.
if you can do it in Chinese, you're really going to impress me. Chinese?
No, sir.
Okay, no chance. All right, so TSSAA in the news again this week, and something that kind of sticking to your craw a little bit.
Well, I mean, I just don't think it's a good idea, and like I was telling you guys off the air, I kind of wish I had been at the meeting now to hear what the conversation was about it. But yeah, the big news this week out of the Board of Control meeting is after 32 years of having all the spring fling events in one central location, and for the vast majority of that time it was Murfreesboro. They voted to split up the spring sports championships starting in 2026. So the way it works out is the tennis competition will be held in Chattanooga, I believe, at the University of or what's it called now? Is it called Chattanooga? Is it still UT Chattanooga?
Yeah, UT Chattanooga.
Okay, I thought they had changed.
I think they
their-
just call themselves. They refer to themselves just as Chattanooga.
Yeah, so that's where I got confused. But yeah, I think they have like a thing there. So that's where the tennis competition is going to be. The track competition will be at the University of Tennessee at Tom Black Track, a very famous track where lots of great athletes have competed there for UT and other SEC schools. And the remainder of the tournament will be, as it was in Murfreesboro with baseball at various sites, and the championship game at MTSU, and soccer at the Siegel Complex, and softball there at the usual complexes there, and their championship at MTSU as well. So they've decided to split that up. I mean,
And again, why did they decide? And was it bid on?
it was bid on. I'm sure it was financial considerations were involved. And Greg, the thing is, it's just gonna create a lot of problems for these athletic directors and teams and parents and administrators and everybody that is involved with spring fling from a school end. I talked to a coach, and he pointed out to me that another thing they did too, they moved the tennis competition to a separate week, so that's going to be a week earlier than the other sports. So the tennis is going to be around the 12th or the 15th in May, and then the rest of the sports are going to be the following week. So that complicates things as well. I mean, you're just going to have people making trips back and forth, and having to plan around graduations and final exams, and all the stuff that goes on at the end of the school year that makes it hectic enough anyway. And now you're factoring in travel to potentially 3 different sites, and having to take care of your athletes at 3 different cities. It's going to be a headache and a complication. I mean, and notwithstanding the media aspect of it, trying to give coverage to all these teams, that's going to be problematic as well. If you have an event going on in Murfreesboro and you have a track meet going on, 2.5 hours away on the same day at the same, that's a complication. So it's just, it's just sad. It's I think spring fling is one of the things that worked really well, and I think people always enjoyed the experience of going there and competing and seeing multiple events at the same time. It's kind of it's kind of like the Olympics. You can go and take in various different things all at once. Now you can't do that anymore. So I think it's something that we've lost, and it's definitely going to be for 2026 and 2027. I really hope after 2027 it reverts all back to a central location, but who knows what's going to happen at that point. But yeah, so that's that. And Also, too, coming out of that meeting, Pure Youth Academy, which has played football and boys basketball here for the last 5 or 6 years or so, they've been granted full TSSAA membership. So they are now a full TSSAA school with all the rights and privileges that go with that. And it's going to be interesting to see how that program develops now that they're in the TSSAA, particularly when you consider that they are it says on their website, they are a private boarding school. So theoretically, they could bring in kids from other parts of the state or other parts of the country or even other parts of the world, like our brethren in Chattanooga do.
Chattanooga route.
Yes.
What class are they?
That's it's going to be based on their enrollment. I don't know exactly what their enrollment is. I can't believe it's very big right now. So I'm thinking, they're going to start off in a lower classification. But so it's going to be interesting. I mean, obviously it's a long way to go before they build up to anything like that. I'm being half facetious, but the potential is there with them being a boarding school that they could potentially do some big things.
So
did they get a wonderful welcome gift from the TSSAA?
That's
nice piece of crystal. welcome to our organization.
Maybe like a fruit basket or like I don't know.
So
I don't even know what would be an appropriate gift. But yeah,
John. Previously, before since their existence and before obviously getting the nod by the TSSAA, what postseason? What were they playing for? What were they playing in? Were they not playing at all in the postseason?
There was no postseason for them. They played. I didn't
know if there was some private thing.
No, they played TSSAA schools. I mean, they played. They played Bartlett. They played Christian Brothers.
Yeah, Christian Brothers.
But they didn't. Obviously, they didn't count for them. But they didn't count for Bartlett and all the opponents, right? Because it wasn't a TSSAA.
It counted. I mean, you can. I mean, a TSSAA school can play a non-TSSAA school. They do that all the time.
But it counts. It counts.
It counts on the record. Yeah.
Okay.
But like
they play out of state schools. Like it all count. I mean,
it
doesn't matter. I mean, it's not like it's a district game or anything else. But yeah, it's a game.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but no. But to your question, Greg, about any type of postseason for Pure Youth, I don't believe that they had anything to shoot for. Prior to now. Now they're just like anybody else. They compete for the playoffs. They can go to the state championship and spring fling and the Blue Cross Bowl and
that's the whole point of being in the TSSAA is to have these opportunities.
And of course you get other benefits as well. But certainly, it's going to make scheduling easier. Now they'll be in a district with somebody and they'll have automatic district game. A lot of that stuff is still to be.
But they'll also be under the doctrines of the TSSAA.
Well, of course, yeah.
Right. So
will that start this coming season?
I believe so. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they'll just be placed into a district, whatever classification.
Yeah, and I appreciate you asking because I need to look into what district and region they're actually going to be in. But yeah, no, it's going to be fun. I mean, they've done a good job building things up out there and getting to this point, and now it's time to take the next step and see what happens. So good luck to Pure Youth, and I'm excited for them.
All right, we'll take a break. More with John Varlas. Want to get your thoughts also on the news from Grizzlies land with Zach Edey going under the knife and what it may mean for all-season moves for the Grizzlies and some other things that John has either covered or will be covering. And that includes a little bit of golf today, as he mentioned, to start this segment. We'll talk about that when we return. You're tuned into Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Since I'm such a smart traveler, can I move to first class?
No.
From the makers of Miralax, new Miralax
time to enjoy long days, lazy nights, and zero guilt. Because Uber Eats has deals all summer long. So when hunger strikes, don't sweat it. Delicious deals are just a tap away on Uber Eats. Enjoy all your favorite food delivered straight to you. Get Burger King, Subway, Popeyes, and hundreds more local favorites and savor every last bite. Now that sounds like a good summer. Order now on Uber Eats. Terms apply. Product availability varies by region. See app for details.
Hi, I'm Glenda Hastings, owner of Napa Cafe, and I want to thank you for making us part of your dining experiences. If you are a first-time guest or have dined with us countless times, I want to thank you for making us part of your lives. Whether you're celebrating with the crowd or planning a cozy date night on the town, Napa Cafe can provide you an extraordinary evening. We have 5 dining rooms, including our private wine cellar, our Jan's room for 2 guests, and the Eleanor room for parties up to 60. Sit back, relax, and celebrate. Leave the cooking to us. Come see me at Napa Cafe, 5101 Sanderlin Avenue. We're open Wednesday through Saturday for dinner starting at 5 o'clock. We also offer curbside pickup from our full menu. For details on our stay-in, dine-out menu or reservations, visit our website at napacafe.com. Come join us. We can't wait to serve you.
Congratulations to Napa Cafe, celebrating 27 years of great food and service for you. Napa Cafe.
Wally Hatchet serves breakfast all day and Southern comfort food for lunch. Hatchet fans love our huge omelet, breakfast Sammys, scrambles, and chicken and waffles. For lunch, check out the Mississippi pot roast, chicken fried steak, grilled meatloaf are one of our best-selling burgers, lipstick on a cow. Pickup, delivery, and catering are also available. Visit WallyHatchets.com to order online. Wally Hatchets is located at 6439 Summer Avenue and open from 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. Tuesday through Sunday. Wally Hatchets, count your blessings, not your calories.
Now back to Sports 56 Morning on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
John Varlas joining us as he does every Friday from the Daily Memphian. You can follow him on Twitter at John Varlas. Your thoughts? You like to keep an eye on what's going on with the Grizzlies. John Moran today broke away from Mike Miller and his sports agency. Happened yesterday, announced yesterday, but that happened.
Could be a little uncomfortable if he goes back to Murray State for a basketball game.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting situation with Ryan Miller there and Ernie Kuiper, and I don't know. But then Zach Edey, of course, the news coming down about his ankle. He has surgery. He'll more than likely miss the start of the season. I think pretty much that is that's going to happen, but we don't know for sure. Every player is different, the way they mend and recover from injuries. But, now it kind of throws in another facet of what the Grizzlies really need to turn their attention to during the off season. So just kind of your overall thoughts about that.
Well, Greg, it's interesting because with the way the Grizzlies kind of approach their injuries and the way they communicate their injuries to the press and the fans, I mean, whenever I hear something like this, I mean, my brain automatically goes to it's worse than what they're telling us. And that may be wrong. That may be totally unfair. But, after the whole Steven Adams situation and, with Brandon Clark just kind of lingering, I'm really, concerned that we might not see Zach Edey when they say we're going to see Zach Edey. And again, I stress that may be unfair on my part, but, given the history of this organization and their kind of lack of transparency and the way they kind of dance around and do semantic word games and things with these injury reports and all that kind of stuff, it just really makes me wonder. And if it is a long-term problem with Zach Edey, you look at somebody his size, the stress on the lower part of the body, that could be a concern. So I'm concerned. I mean, I hope that he'll have his surgery and come back 110% and be able to improve on the nice, end to the season that he had this past year. But I'm concerned, especially, like I said, with somebody of his size, lower body injuries for big guys like that, the really big guys. History doesn't bode well for those guys. It really doesn't, and that's unfortunate.
Right now, with the Pacers up 2-1, you taking Pacers or Oklahoma City?
Well, I'm taking Pacers all the way. I told you last week. I'm going with the Corgi. The Corgi had the Pacers 2-1. The games have been he didn't get the games right because he had the Pacers winning the first two, and that didn't happen obviously. But the Corgi did have the Pacers up 2-1 at this point, and that's what I'm going with. But in all seriousness, though, I'm going with the Pacers as well.
So you should go with the Pacers, J.J. Spawn parlay.
Could I get a parlay on that?
You'd be able to retire.
Well, I don't think it's necessarily a stretch to go with the Pacers at this point because I think I saw a statistic where in the finals the team that goes ahead 2-1 has the advantage. I mean, they win like I don't
80%.
Yeah, 80%. I thought it was 80%, but I didn't want to say because I wasn't sure.
Even with the odds, even the odds favoring Indiana, I think a lot of people still like Oklahoma City.
Well, they're going to like Oklahoma City until Indiana's holding the Larry Brown or the Larry O'Brien trophy.
The Larry Brown trophy.
Yeah, they'll be raising the trophy and they'll be like, I still like Oklahoma City, but yeah,
it's still I guess decent odds. And J.J. Spawn, Eli just said during the break, you can still get him at plus 1,200, and he's leading right now by a stroke, but a long way to go. So maybe you can think about. I know you don't gamble, but a parlay may be in the making here.
Well, maybe so. And I thought it was really good. That after not playing really well in Game 2, Tyrese Halliburton bouncing back with a near triple double.
Oh, he was great
in Game 3. He was awesome. And this nonsense.
What does Halliburton translate to? Whatever language.
I don't know.
4 mugs.
Halliburton translates to winner.
Yes, good
champion.
point.
But no, and this nonsense with Stephen A. Smith inserting himself in. Did you see that, Greg?
Yes, I'm so there's some things I'm just so exhausted about. Stephen A. Smith's one of them. And I don't completely dislike Stephen A. Smith. There's a lot of times I'm like, stop it. We don't need you now. You don't have to be involved in everything. But they're paying him so much money that they feel they got to throw him in there. Like badminton. Let's get Stephen A. Smith to talk about the badminton team.
Yeah, I saw him. Yeah, I saw him commenting on some political issue the other day.
Oh gosh, yeah, he's into that.
But anyway, the specifically a little bit of a he took some shots at Halliburton, which just get over yourself, man. He was responding to comments from Halliburton that Halliburton said he doesn't worry about what talking heads say.
Right.
They're just going out there to play ball. And Stephen A's all like, well, if you're talking to me, if you were talking about me, I just want you to know that I'm going to be here. And I'm like, come on, Dave.
Yeah, I know.
It's ridiculous.
An ego that wouldn't fit in any room.
Egos run wild, but no, I'm totally team Halliburton, team Nembhard, team Siakam.
You can't be Team John Halliburton, though.
No,
you still attack Giannis.
I did not. No, I did not think that was proper. But Team Johnny Furphy, whatever you want, man. I am with.
What
team,
a factor he's been.
I'm with
Team Furphy.
Furphy got some minutes the other night.
He did,
Can you imagine? Now, what kind of odds, Greg, could you have gotten for Johnny Furphy getting minutes in a finals game?
I guess if it was a blowout one way or the other.
It was a blowout, but I'm saying, what kind of odds would you have gotten at the start of the year?
I don't know.
But millions, right?
Well, I don't know about that because, again, the chance with Oklahoma City as favored as they were, there was going to be a blowout. But, again, I don't think there was too many people that had Indiana up in the series.
So do you think the Pacers win tonight?
They may not win tonight. No, I don't think they win tonight, no. But I think they win the series.
So you think they'll still win 2 in Oklahoma City?
So you think they're going to win another game in Oklahoma City?
They got to win 2 in Oklahoma City. No. They can win Game 6 at home.
Right.
So they'd have to win one of the 2 in Oklahoma City. You think that's going to happen?
That's what's going to happen, yeah.
Okay.
Do you know that Tyrese Halliburton hasn't shot a free throw yet in the finals?
Really?
Yeah. I think I saw that. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Well, he likes to shoot threes and pull up. He doesn't like to go to the hole as much as SGA does.
But in 3 games?
I know.
You're correct.
That is surprising.
Yeah.
That is surprising.
I mean, he's playing the majority of the minutes?
No, you're right. All right, 2 more things real quick.
Yeah.
One, you tweeted out, and folks should always follow John Varlas, no matter if it's scholastic season or not. I mean, he's always funny with some things.
He will give you German translations.
He'll give you German translations and just kind of
your own AI.
Things out of the blue, and things out of the blue.
Your personal AI.
And this
That's
is
going to market myself.
This isn't crazy, but it's just like, okay, because I know during the summer you used to cover soccer, and you said, quite frankly, pretty distinct. I mean, not distinct, but succinct. What's the word? Right to the point.
Succinct.
Yeah, succinct.
Translate what he's trying to say for you.
No, I said the right word. I couldn't pronounce it.
I don't know.
Johnny GPT.
I wish there was a 901 FC Chinese, apparently. I wish there was a 901 FC match to cover Saturday. How much do you really miss soccer?
I do. It was really fun to cover those guys, and felt like I had developed a good professional relationship with with Coach Glass and Caleb and the guys in the locker room. It was so from that perspective, it was a lot of effort on my part to get to that point, but they were fun to cover. I mean, obviously I enjoy soccer just from a fan standpoint, but I think it was a good product for the city. I mean, they had their fan base. It wasn't a large one, and obviously ultimately that was their undoing, but it was loyal. It was a passionate fan base, and when they left, it didn't affect the lives of a lot of people, but the people whose lives were affected, they felt it and they still feel it. And, it's kind of hard not to think, on a June Saturday night and, there's not going to be a whole lot going on. It's like, oh, well, we could have a soccer game tonight and that would be fun. It would be good, for the city. It would be good for the sports community here locally. I think it would be a good thing.
You think they'll ever get a soccer team again?
I don't know. I mean, it's soccer's not worked here.
Swing and a miss, a bunch of times.
Well,
right?
Even before you got here, Greg. I mean, soccer has tried to succeed in Memphis.
Indoor, outdoor,
6 feet and under league. I made that up, but
6 feet.
I made that up.
I know, but I'm laughing. The dead league.
Yeah,
6 feet under. 6 feet. No, I'm just thinking like.
No, that was a basketball league.
I know.
It wasn't 6 feet and under. It was like 6'5" and under, and that was real interesting too because they signed these guys and they were like 6'8" and 6'9" in college, and then all of a sudden they were able to play in this 6'5" league, and that was interesting.
Oh, I know.
That was a wild time.
Did they measure them with or without shoes?
I don't know.
Well, not to get off track, but they also had and this has nothing to do with soccer, but didn't they have the league for basketball where you had to be 6 feet and under? That had a team, maybe in South Haven.
I think it was 6'5" and under.
It was 6'5" and under.
Yeah, because one of the players they signed for that team was, and I want to say Dana Kirk was even the coach of that league.
Really?
Of that team, the local team, but I may be wrong about that. But I'm pretty sure one of the players they signed was Baskerville Holmes, and when Baskerville Holmes, God rest his soul, when he was at Memphis, he was listed at 6'7" on the roster.
Right.
And now he's playing in the 6'5" and under league.
So apparently they don't get out there with a tape measure and measure these guys.
I don't know how it all works, Greg.
All right, and then you mentioned again, you're going to be over at TPC Southwind today. As they did all these renovations, you'll get your first look today. We'll have Joe Tomek joining us at 8:25 to talk about those changes. So, I don't know if it's going to do much for you. Like there's the hole, there's there's the undulation on the greens there, but I'm sure it's going to look very nice.
I'm sure it's going to look great, and it's interesting and exciting. And they shut down that course last year right after the tournament, and they've been working hard ever since. So it's going to be fun to see what it looks like. I'm sure the players are going to be eager to get out and take a few cracks at this newly designed course and see how it plays for them this year. But no, it's tournament time is here. They're probably at work, getting every start. I mean, I'm sure they've already started setting up all the tents and the facilities.
Oh, it's a task.
It's a humongous undertaking, and they do it very well. I just hope J.J. Spawn makes it here. Honestly, he'll be here.
J.J.
Right?
Spawn. Yeah, I think J.J. Spawn.
Well, according to you, he's going to win the U.S. Open, so he'll be here for sure.
Well, yeah. So
but he's already got a second place at the
Players
Championship. I don't know where he right now is in FedEx, but yeah, he would be.
J.J. Spawn will be here.
He's a lock.
He would have to really collapse the rest of the year not to make it.
Well, whenever they do renovations, they always do a good job. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. Enjoy yourself out there, TBC Southwind. Stay cool. As always, John, thank you. We'll talk to you next Friday.
Yes, indeed. Thank you, guys.
That is John Varlas from the Daily Memphian. You can follow him on Twitter at John Varlas. He is brought to you by the great folks at Shoot 360 Memphis. Each and every week, make sure to stop by or call them in Cordova on Big Orange Road, 901-779-3176, in Collierville at 85 Market Street at 901-316-5500. We'll take a timeout, come back with hour number 2. We're going to be busy. We open up talking Tigers football. Brendan Lewis, Tigers quarterback, will join us. And then, as we mentioned, Joe Tomek, the executive director of the FedEx St. Jude Championship. You're listening to Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Things about the rendezvous I'm going to talk about. For example, we make it really easy to park. We have valet parking right at Monroe Street in our alley. We also want to make it easy for people to get to doors. You can now park in our alley right at our front door and put your flashers on. People also forget that we take reservations for 6 or more. And we have a wonderful party room upstairs that can accommodate people for rehearsal dinners, birthday parties, reunions, graduations. Our rooms seat between 25 and 275 people. And everything at the rendezvous can be packed to go. But we also do catering. See our menu online, and we can even deliver for groups of 15 or more. So if you have any questions, always feel free to call us at the rendezvous because we answer our phone ourselves. You'll never hear, please listen carefully for our menu listing. Press 1 for reservations, press 2 for hours, press 3 for catering, or if you know your party's 9-digit extension number and the first 3 letters of the mother's maiden name, dial it now. Come see us at the rendezvous. Since 1948, the rendezvous.
Hi, this is Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roofing. In these uncertain economic times, there are so many things as a contractor and a business owner that I cannot control. The rising cost of materials, not to mention fuel and transportation costs. In the last 2 years, shingle prices have almost doubled, and commercial materials have doubled. I don't have to tell you what fuel costs these days. But you know what I can control? How much markup I put on a project. I have always prided myself in knowing I never gouge a customer. But in an effort to ensure my crews have work and my customers are being treated fairly, I have lowered my profit margin, hoping to give you a price you can live with and keeping my crews busy. So if you need a roof or gutters, please give us a call. Fiveash Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or MemphisRoofer.com. 367-0050 or MemphisRoofer.com. 367-0050 or MemphisRoofer.com. Fiveash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
It's time for fun, family, and fabulous prizes at the 67th Annual St. Louis Hole-in-One Charity Festival, Sunday through Saturday, June 15th through 21st. Golfers can win cash and prizes every night, along with the chance to win $25,000 toward a City Auto vehicle purchase select nights. Then a chance to win $1 million the final night. Plus, there are cornhole tournaments every night with cash and prizes. Friday and Saturday nights, there are kids' carnival rides and 2 to 4 Saturday children's golf. So golfers, grab your clubs. Cornholers, practice your aim. Families, bring the kids. Memphis, there's something for everyone. You're invited to the biggest party of the year at St. Louis Church, 203 South White Station Road. The 67th Annual St. Louis Hole-in-One Charity Festival, Sunday through Saturday, June 15th through the 21st. Fun, family, and fabulous prizes all week as you help raise funds supporting youth programs at St. Louis Church. This traffic brought to you by Raleigh Tire Auto Service, your local family-owned business for over 60 years.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. A little bit busier than it was 15-20 minutes ago. Coming over from Crittenden County West, Memphis on I-40 eastbound here at the Hernando de Soto Bridge. Trying to load up with a little bit more volume on 385 Bill Morris Parkway, coming in from Collierville as you work your way here on Bill Morris up by Riverdale. Weimer's Jewelry, your diamond engagement ring headquarters this bridal season. Stop by and see them this weekend at Weimer's Jewelry on Highway 64. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Original sports station. We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis.
Now back to Sports 56 mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers.
Diamonds are forever.
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Nice eagle for Jason Day on the 12th hole at Oakmont. Moves him from +7 to +5. Second round action. We'll take a look at the leaderboard in just a second. And in just a few moments, Brendan Lewis will join us, one of the Tigers quarterbacks vying for the starting job, the transfer from Nevada. Welcome back. Hour 2 of the program. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, Elijah Seegers with you on this Friday the 13th. Yeah, Friday, June 13th, 2025. We're broadcasting live and local from the Family Leisure Studios. Family Leisure, 2120 Witten Road, just north of I-40. Currently 73 degrees, going to get up to 83 today. Scattered thunderstorms during the morning, becoming widespread this afternoon, about a 70% chance. Again, I'm just reading the forecast. It may happen, may not happen. Tonight, 71 degrees, thunderstorms this evening, followed by occasional showers overnight. And then Saturday looks like a mixture. Got some sun, got some clouds, maybe some rain, about a 48% chance. of precipitation on Saturday. Hour 2 of the program brought to you by the great folks at James Gaddis Jewelers, and every Monday and Friday they bring you the Memphis Sports Fact. Did you know the American Conference announced yesterday that the league will host its football media days July 24th and 25th in Charlotte, North Carolina? Now, we knew they were on the move because we had Commissioner Tim Pernetti on the show recently to tell us that, but they'll be in Charlotte, and that's right after the ACC media days, which are July 22nd through the 24th. So from the ACC right to the AAC in the Queen City. James Gaddis Jewelers, for all your bridal engagement and anniversary jeweler headquarters, but if you're looking for a special something for a special someone, whether it be a birthday present, an anniversary gift, a graduation present, whatever the occasion is, James Gaddis Jewelers has something for you. They've been in existence for 6 decades, 60 years. They're located at 4900 Poplar Avenue between Mendenhall and St. Nick, and on the web at gaddisjewelers.com. They're open Monday through Friday, 10 to 5, Saturday, 10 to 4, closed on Sunday. So go visit James and the gang. Tell them you heard it here on Sports 56 Mornings. It's James Gaddis Jewelers.
J.J. Spawn, still the leader at the U.S. Open. He will not tee off until later today, but he is still at 4 under par. 1-shot lead over Brooks Koepka and Thurston Lawrence. Koepka looks like he's about to make another bogey. He's got a long par putt, so he could very well fall back to 2 under par. Siwoo Kim sits at 2 under. He tees off later today. Victor Hovland, Sung Jae Im, the red-hot Ben Griffin, Thomas Dietrich, James Nicholas, all at 1 under par. You got 9 guys currently under par out of the entire field at the U.S. Open. Scotty Scheffler, 1 under on his day today. He sits at 2 over par for the tournament. So a lot of guys still in the running. If you can just survive and hang on today, see what happens. Be interesting to see what J.J. Spawn is able to do to follow up yesterday's 66.
The Memphis Tigers will have a new quarterback starting this year. The question is, which of the 3 quarterbacks will it be? That battle was certainly intense during the spring, will continue into August as the Tigers get set for the 2025 season. A lot of new faces, but still the expectations are very high for this Memphis Tigers football team, and we are very pleased to be joined by one of those quarterbacks, the transfer from the University of Nevada. He's Brendan Lewis, who you can follow on Twitter at BrendanLewis123. Joins us now on Sports 56 Mornings. Good morning, Brendan. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
So I'm looking back at the resume, and it's quite impressive. For those who don't know, starting at the University of Colorado and then moving on to Nevada, 35 starts in your collegiate career with over 5,000 passing yards, 28 touchdown passes, over 1,500 rushing yards, and 15 touchdowns on the ground. Were you that type of quarterback, I would assume, in high school, dual threat guy before you went to Colorado?
Yes, sir. I've always been a dual threat in high school. I was a little bit bigger than a lot of the guys on the field, so I was doing a lot more lowering my shoulder and running guys over. Then I got to college, and I realized I can't really do that as much as I did in high school. So I got a little bit more elusive. But, yeah, I've always been a dual threat quarterback.
Yeah, I would imagine that coaches frown upon their quarterback going out there and lowering his shoulder and the possibility of injury, but still that option is there, and that's going to be quite interesting. What type of offense is run? If you end up winning the job, obviously you're an RPO guy, so I'm sure there will be that's been put into the offense and will continue, especially when camp opens up as you guys prepare for the 25 season.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Seth did a great job last year, and we have 2 different skill sets of offense. Offense should look a little bit different at the helm because we have a couple dual threat quarterbacks in the room now, so offense will probably look a little bit more different, a little bit more RPOs.
For you, what made Memphis the spot for you?
For me, it was all about the tradition of the program and just the coaches that were running it. When I was on my visit, I had a great talk with Coach Cramsey and Coach Silverfield, and I just loved everything that they had to offer, and I loved the winning tradition they had with the program. Like I said, Coach Cramsey is a great offensive coordinator. He has a great track record of putting up a lot of points, putting up a lot of yards. Steph Hennigan did that for 4 years, and I just saw that as a great fit for myself to be able to come in and put up a lot of yards and score a lot of points for the Memphis Tigers.
How did spring ball go for you?
Spring ball went really well. I loved learning the offense. I was in there day in, day out, trying to master the offense, trying to master the playbook. But the best part was building more chemistry with the guys and just being out there on the field with them, getting better, watching them make plays, and just building chemistry throughout the spring. So then it leads into the summer, so that in the fall we're all clicking. I know what they're going to do at the top of their routes. They know where I want them to be. So that was the funnest part, just building chemistry with the guys, and I'm excited to keep that going on to the summer.
Yeah, how much do you do? Obviously, you've got the spring practice, but outside of that, this time of year now, how much are you able to get out there with the receivers, other guys, just kind of continue, as you said, to build that chemistry?
Really, as much as possible. I try to get out there with them every day. I got to kind of be careful because of my arm. I can't throw my arm out, and I got to be wary of them and their legs because our summer workouts, they're not easy. So I have to be careful with their legs, not try to have them do too much, so I can limit soft tissue injuries, so that everybody is healthy going in camp. But I would say I do it as much as I can, as much as possible, even if it's just standing there at the top of the route, so I can get the timing down at the top of the route. But I would say almost every day, and as much as I can, I get out there with all the receivers, tight ends, even the running backs.
Aside from obviously preparing in the off season, workouts, throwing the football around, like you said, not too much, but certainly doing what you need to do to prepare for the season, and then other obligations for the school. What do you like to do when you have some time to yourself and you have a chance to do a little R&R? What do you like to partake in?
Yeah. So when I'm not in the facility, which is not very often, but right. I do have a lot more free time this time of year. So I don't really do too much. I'm engaged, so I spend a lot of time with my fiance.
Congrats!
And thank you. We watch movies. We just go on adventuring around Memphis, try to see what the best food spot is. I watch a lot of TV shows to get my mind away from football sometimes, and I do like fishing. I like fishing a lot, and I'm trying to look for some more fishing spots out here.
There's a lot around this area.
There is a lot. What TV shows are you watching?
Oh, right now I actually just got done watching the show called 1883. It's like an old western. I think it's like a pre-sequel to the show Yellowstone.
Yeah.
But now I think I'm gonna have to start watching. I think I'm gonna have to start watching Yellowstone first because I was so hooked on 1883.
Oh, so you didn't watch Yellowstone first. This was the first one you'd watched. Okay.
Yeah, this is the first one I watched, so now I feel like I have to watch Yellowstone.
So it's a good way to do it if you actually watch the prequel first, and then now you see the whole thing in order.
Well, I think I went backwards on what's the one with Bob Odenkirk and
Better Call Saul.
Better Call Saul. I went backwards on that one. I did Better Call Saul, and then what's the other one?
Breaking Bad.
Breaking Bad. Yeah, so I went the reverse order. So I picked it up very quickly, but it was a reverse order. I think you should go in the chronological order. I think it would make sense. Brendan Lewis is joining us, Tigers quarterback, the transfer from Nevada. What was your past experiences like at Colorado and at Nevada? I'm looking at, at Colorado, obviously that first year you only played in the bowl game because you were redshirted, and then you came back that next year. You started all 12 games, put up some good numbers. That was a redshirt freshman year playing in then the Big 12. And then in 2022, you only played a couple games. Did you get injured in 2022?
So our coach had got fired. I think week 3 of that season. So then I was like my second or third coach. So then I thought it was just time for me to find a new scenery. So I left.
Okay.
I left week 3 of that season before Dion came.
Gotcha. And then why did you pick Nevada? And then what was that experience like?
I picked Nevada because out of the options I had, I felt like they were the best fit for me. I liked their offense. They had a pretty good coaching staff, and they were real good to me on my visit. So I picked there. And it was just a great learning experience. I liked Reno. It wasn't bad. Lake Tahoe area was right there.
Mm-hmm.
It was a great. The weather is not nearly as good as it is here, but it was very pretty, and I liked it a lot. It was a great learning experience, and I think I learned a lot from my football career there.
From a player's perspective, with all of the things that are continuing to go on in the college football world now with revenue sharing coming in, all these things, do you pay much attention to that, or you just say, I'm focusing on playing and then whatever happens around me?
Yeah, that's a great question. For me, it's for me. I think it's a little different because I'm older. So when I first got to college, it was nothing like this, like nothing at all. So now to live through it and see how the flip has script and being able to still play in it, it's crazy, really. But I don't think about it too much. I think about it a little bit because this is my last year and I want to maximize all my opportunities. But for me, it's like, I'm older, so I just want to play ball and finish out my college career on a great note, with a lot of wins and great stats to be able to put myself in a position to play at the next level. So I don't think about it too much, but obviously, it's there, like in the back of my mind. I think it's a great opportunity for guys my age, and an awesome opportunity for young guys that are just not getting to college.
You're the old guy in the locker room. You're telling the freshmen, back in my day, we didn't have all these things that you guys have now.
And it's true.
Yeah.
And it's
exactly.
True. I would imagine, obviously, with the 35 starts already to your career, you have that experience as you talked about. That is absolutely an attribute. What are the other things that you think can take you over the top? And then what are things that you're still working on?
Yeah, so I think, like throughout my college career, I've done a great job. One of my attributes that I've added to myself is being a leader, being able to lead guys because I've been through a lot. So I think I'll be able to be a great leader to not just the young guys, but even the older guys that are in different positions. And I think I've done a great job battling through adversity throughout my whole career. So I feel like I can handle anything that gets thrown at me. So I'm excited to be able to do that and just battle through adversity through the guys, and then watch me how I do it and how I'm relentless and I'll never give up. So I think I can help that, feed that into the team, and that's an attribute that I can bring, and also as well as being a dual threat and be able to run fast and throw it wherever I need to throw it all over the yard. And I think one thing I'm working on right now is just living in the film room and being able to identify defenses and just being able to be a true OC on the field and being able to take some stress off of Coach Clancy because he trusts me so much to be able to do what I need to do on the field to make the offense successful.
You might talk about being a leader. How is it coming into a new locker room and kind of being that leader? How do you earn that respect of the teammates, all that type of stuff? And have you always just kind of been a natural leader?
I feel like I've been a natural leader just because of leading by example in the actions that I do. I do a lot of extra work outside the facilities and inside the facilities, and I feel like when guys see that builds trust and confidence with me. And then I'm pulling guys in and trying to get extra work with them, whether I think they want to do it or not. I still ask them because that shows them that I want to be great and I want the team to be great. So and then that motivates them to be able to do the same thing. And I think that's a great way to win the locker room over, because if those guys see how bad you want it, then they know that their quarterback wants to win and that he wants to play for the team and play for his brothers. I think that takes a long way on the field.
The expectations are always high with Memphis football in the American Conference. It's interesting because and I don't know if you read the preseason magazines or do any of that social media stuff, but they're starting to come out, and it seems like a little bit of an apprehension to pick Memphis or even to have them in some regards up in the top 2 or 3 because there's so many new faces. There's so many positions that had to be filled by players that exhausted their eligibility or moved on through the portal. How do you feel with what you've seen so far in the offseason, in spring football, what the coaches have said? What do you think about this team and the expectations, and what should those expectations be going into the season?
Yeah, that's one of the reasons I came here is because of I knew how great Memphis was in this conference and as a football program. So, and I think that all the new guys that Coach Silverfield has brought in are all great guys and all guys that'll be able to make plays from day one. And I'm really excited. I think the expectations should be high, and our expectations for ourselves and the locker room and as a team are also high, and our goal is to win that conference championship. And everybody in that locker room, all the new guys, even all the guys that's been here, we're all doing what we can to make that happen. And Coach Stewartfield does a great job instilling that in our mind that our main goal is to win that conference championship. And that's what we all really want. And I think, the expectations should be high because we have the guys to be able to accomplish that.
How good do you think is the overall talent of the team?
I think it's really good. I think it's one of the better teams I've ever played on. This is definitely the best O-line I've ever played with, and I'm really excited about the skill guys. They have a lot of speed. We have a great tight end room, a great running back room. I think we have great depth. I mean, all the guys are working hard, trying to be the best. So I think it's really good. Even on the defense side of the ball, I've seen so many guys making plays and playing hard and making me better. I'm making them better. And the defense runs a little bit of odd defense that I haven't seen a lot.
Right.
And it's good just playing against it and learning from it, learning from Coach Hank. I'm in the film room and I'm talking to Coach Hanks, the defensive coordinator.
Right.
I'm picking his brain about the defense and he's picking mine. So I think it's just a great learning experience from all the guys. I think all the guys are doing great. I'm really excited about this group of guys because of how hard they work and how close we're getting.
And final thing for you, the quarterback room, it seems like it's an extremely talented room. You're battling with a couple of young guys who probably pick your brain because of the experience you have. But what is that like with the quarterback room at Memphis?
Yeah, the quarterback room, I say we all, as the time goes on, we're all becoming, as we all get to know each other, we're all becoming closer, and that's what's making the quarterback competition even better. Like you said, I'm older, so they're picking my brain and learning off of me, and even I'm still learning off of them. I still learn new things off of them, so I think it's great. We're all making each other better. We're all talented. We all want to win, and I think we're all friendly, which makes the competition a little better. I like that room a lot. It's a bunch of talented guys in that room, and we make each other better each and every day.
Well, congratulations on your engagement. Congratulations on your football career. Hopefully it is a big-time season for you and the Tigers. Looking forward to it, Brendan. Looking forward to watching you from the sideline. Thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me. Have a great one.
You too. Good stuff. Seems like another great guy.
Yeah.
They bring in a lot of good people, don't they?
Impressive guy. Again, obviously, as he said, veteran guy who's been around, seen it all, and it's obviously you could tell you could just listen to him talk and feel that he's a leader. Like you just got to get the feeling just by the way he talks and understands things and how much he wants to, the work he's putting in, talking about how much he's there, all that stuff. That he's a guy that's going to be a leader.
No question about it. Hey everybody, it's summer, so come get your new and affordable 26 All-Star Chevy Equinox at All-Star Chevrolet in Olive Branch. Financing down to 6.6% for 72 months. New 25 Silverados with $6,500 cash back and financing down to 2.9 for 36 months. Go big. Get a new Silverado 2500 HD with financing as low as 3.9 for 60 months and not one payment for 90 days. Why? Because your good credit deserves it. Now, if you work in law enforcement, you're a healthcare worker, first responder, you're a teacher, you work in the military, a recent graduate, you get an extra $500 bonus. They also have all the certified and pre-owns you want. They have a beautiful Corvette Stingray on the premises, more Tahoes and Silverados than you'll find in one place anywhere. If you have any vehicle you want to sell, you bring it to All-Star Chevrolet in Olive Branch, get the most money for it today. Vacation road trips and all your summer fun begin in Olive Branch with our friends at All-Star Chevrolet. So together, let's drive. You can also see all these great rides online at allstarautogroup.com. When we come back, we're talking with Joe Tomek. He happens to be the executive director of the FedEx St. Jude Championship. They got a big day today over at TPC Southwind. We'll talk to Joe about that when we return. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
retail warehouse where they pass wholesale savings on to you. Jenkins Floors at 2356 Goodman Road in Horn Lake. Also stores in Cleveland, Mississippi and Little Rock. They specialize in flooring and carpeting, tile, plantation shutters, and blinds. Jenkins makes your life easy with a 2-week turnaround. Contractors, builders, or family projects call 662-469-9350 for a free estimate. Owners Timmy and Rebecca Jenkins say hello to Sports 56 fans and look forward to your business.
Tito's Handmade Vodka is America's favorite vodka for a reason. From the first legal distillery in Texas, Tito's is 6 times distilled till it's just right and naturally gluten-free, making it a high-quality spirit that mixes with just about everything. From the smoothest martinis to the best Bloody Marys, beyond the bottle, Tito's has gained a reputation for giving back, teaming up with nonprofits around the world to serve its community and do good for dogs. Make your next cocktail with Tito's and learn more at Tito'sVodka.com. 40% alcohol by volume, mainly 80 proof, crafted to be savored responsibly.
At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises, just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it, because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets with vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com, so whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli with locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Poplar and Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli. It's wholesome food and no surprises.
This traffic report brought to you by Triangle Meat Company, feeding Memphis since 1967. Open 8 to 5, Monday through Friday, 4790 Summer Avenue. Trust Triangle Meat Company.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. Starting to build even more so in the Midtown area. And just in the last few minutes on I-40 there at Chelsea, as it picks up also on 55 northbound up through DeSoto County, all the way into South Haven as you work your way inbound on 240 right now over here at Mill Branch. Hey, dandelions, crabgrass, Lawn Solutions says, we'll take care of that for you. Call Lawn Solutions. You'll be glad you did. 867-5626. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Back to Sports 56 mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers.
Don't you just love it?
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everyone. 8:27 the time, halfway home in this Friday edition of Sports 56 Mornings. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, Elijah Seegers watching the U.S. Open in studio, and of course that fires us up here in Memphis for what's coming up in now less than 2 months. It's the FedEx St. Jude Championship, the first of the 3 playoff events for the FedEx Cup. That's August 6th through the 10th at TPC Southwind, and it's going to look a lot different because renovations have been going on for quite some time and wrapping up this summer, getting ready for the best players in the world to come to Memphis, and we are very pleased to be joined by our good friend, Joe Tomek. He's the executive director of the FedEx St. Jude Championship. You can follow him on Twitter at, you gotta love it, Toey_Jomek, and Joe joins us now on Sports 56 Mornings. Good morning, Joe.
Good morning. Always got to start with that Twitter handle, don't we?
You know, I don't know if you want followers or not, but I got to throw it out there. You're not changing it. You love it. I know you get a kick out of it. So, yeah, I have to do that. It's been a while since. What's that?
Twitter's a fun thing.
It is, and I refuse to call it X. I always will call it Twitter. We haven't spoken in a while. It's been a while, and there's a lot to get to as we get closer. I cannot believe the tournament is less than 2 months away. How about you? Because I know you guys get maybe an hour off, and then you start for the next season. So you guys have been working very hard. But I mean, has it rolled by real quick as far as the time that we're now under 2 months?
53 days, I think, is what we're down to in some odd hours. It goes fast. It sneaks up on you quick, but we were just talking about it yesterday. We had some corporate clients come out for the first time, and if you don't love this time of year, when you start feeling that itch, that energy, then we're doing the wrong job. So we're excited, and these 53 days are going to go real fast.
With the with the fact that the renovation's going on the course, how much more stress, I guess, maybe did you have this, leading up to this point in the year?
Yeah, it's funny seeing a golf course that you're going to be hosting the best players in the world on in February, March, even April, and the greens are dirt. But Nick Bazans and Larry Antonozzi, the staff at TPC Southwind, are incredible. You have complete trust in what they're doing. It is a science that I truly know very little about, and go out there today and it looks pretty green. So need a little bit more sun, a little bit more heat, probably a little less rain.
Mm-hmm.
But the fairways look incredible. All the tee complexes and green complexes that have been rebuilt have looked fantastic. So we're excited for the world to see it.
Yeah, you mentioned Nick and Larry and their staffs and the job they did, and they're going to be available today as you give the tour to the media. Unfortunately for us, it starts at 10, and we're wrapping up here at 10, so that's why I wanted to bring you on. And even though you're, like you said, not the expert as far as that is concerned, you know exactly what's been going on. It's really the most extensive renovations in 20 years to the course. So for the layman out there, again, specifically, tell us what changes they'll notice, what happened during these renovations for all these months, and again, where everything stands.
Yeah, so really the biggest thing was restoring and recapturing the green complexes to their original design and size from when the course opened in 1988. We've replaced the greens, really the top 4 inches of sod, but we haven't replaced the entire complexes. And just like anything else, over the years, you lose some dirt and square footage to erosion, and different grass types start mixing in with each other. So what we did is really leveled all 18 green complexes, rebuilt them up to the exact same specifications as they were designed in the original 88 design. And what that's done is really recaptured about 1,000 or a couple thousand square feet of greens across all 18 holes. So, each hole looks pretty similar, and there's not really a significant change in strategy to the golf course. But it might open up 2 or 3 hole locations on each hole that we didn't have anymore because it had just gotten a little bit smaller. So really, restoration and really getting them back to the pristine conditions that they were when they launched in 88.
It's interesting because with something like this, you won't know how they're going to play until these guys are here and playing them. And I guess you get that feedback from them.
Yeah, it's new, right? So we'll see what the receptiveness is when they get here. And no one, to your point, will be playing on them until Wednesday of tournament week when our guys show up to practice. But, like I said, Nick Bazans, his agronomy team are incredible. We have the entire support of the TPC network. So all the experts in the agronomy down at PGA Tour headquarters have come in and supported the process. And, you just have faith and trust in your colleagues that they're going to have that place as ready and efficient as it's going to be.
You talked also about resurfacing of the tee boxes. So there's not going to be any changes as far as distances in certain holes or anything like that. It's just the actual resurfacing of the tee boxes the way they were.
Yeah, so tee boxes actually did go through some changes.
Oh, they
minorly.
did? Okay.
More so, if this tee complex, I'm thinking of 11, for instance. The back tee box where the pros were was very wide, and we realized we kept using or favoring the left side of the tee box. So instead of making it wide, we made it very deep and skinny. And, that added a few potential yardages to hole 11. All in all, I think the course extended to 7,300 on the dot, which is about, I believe, 43-ish yards longer than we've played the last few years. Most significantly, I believe it's 11 and 5. We've gotten a little bit longer. But minorly, you're talking 20, 30 yards at max, and 1 or 2 holes that have gotten a little bit shorter. So it all kind of evens out. Again, no substantial changes as far as strategy, just, getting a chance. Now you've had 20-something years of use case that you can identify trends and where were we actually using tee complexes versus where we weren't. And that also allowed us to reroute some cart paths, particularly from a tournament side of things, where a lot of cart paths went in front of the pro tee decks. And, that means when fans are moving their way around or all the cart traffic, they had to hold up until a player was teeing off, and now we routed them behind each tee complex to ensure that there's a good flow of fan traffic making their way around Southwind.
So you said number 5, you've extended the distance?
Just using that back tee deck a little bit more. It was a pretty small tee complex because it was really only used for the pros, and we'd actually move it forward one round every year. We expanded it just a bit to give us a little more variety in left, right, deep, front. So when they're setting that up, that's a beast of a hole as it is. The guys played as par 4. So
that's what I was thinking. I was like, man, they played as a par 4 instead of a par 5, and now you're making it longer on them. I was like, man, that's tough.
Hey, these guys are good, right? You got to give them a test. That's the point of the playoffs.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind making the rough a little deeper here as I watch Oakmont and the U.S. Open and some of the struggles. Joe Tomac joining us on the Sissy's Log Cabin guest line. Okay, so you said you can use a little less rain, although it looks like we got a little more rain coming in, a little more sun for everything to grow and what they need to do. Like right now with all these changes, and again, you're doing the tours for the media today. Right now, if let's say the golf tournament was next week, would it be able to be played?
Probably would be able to be played, but it wouldn't be the best. I'll admit that. So sod has been laid. We laid sod across all the tee complexes as well as the green surrounds, so all the runoff areas. But the greens themselves were sprigged, which is basically a process of planting small seeds or little blades of grass that you then hope spreads across the green. So the spreading has happened. I mean, we sprigged the second week of May, and I personally, having gone through this for the first time, am pretty amazed at how well covered the greens are. But there's spots we need further growth for sure, and we need some of that sod across the tee complexes to take a little bit better. And Nick and his team always tell me they can make it rain, right? That's what sprinklers are for,
sure.
But they can't make it sun. So we definitely could use a little bit of our normal hot Memphis summer, which is not something you will ever hear me say again. But for their sake, I'll ask for it a little bit.
Yeah, I've talked to a lot of folks at various golf courses that the nights especially just haven't been those warm nights. Now we're finally getting them, but it just hasn't been a great growing season to this point. So when you're redoing things and really need it to grow, that I can imagine that. As far as the tournament is concerned, beyond the golf course and the new greens, all that stuff, like new stuff this year, any changes for fans for this year's tournament?
Yeah, no significant changes. Continuing to evaluate after each tournament, right? You mentioned how my team goes to work immediately after the tournament ends. And, it's a listening exercise, reviewing all the fan surveys and figuring out how we can make it better, right? And so this year we've added 2 new local food partners, one in Smackers and one in Torchy's Tacos that will be out on site this year, which is fantastic. In addition to our usuals like Commissary and A&M Restaurant Group, we're going to keep growing what we dubbed the Bluff at 14, really using the 14th hole as the last par 3, a ton of great shade along the right, a really cool amphitheater type setting. We're going to keep growing that. The response was really encouraging last year. A lot of fans making their way out there. We switched up some of the classic hush y'all signs and crossed them out and said, get loud y'all. We want people to have fun. We want people to enjoy the golf tournament and realize that golf can be a place for a lot of fun. It's not this stuffy, quiet sport that it receives the connotation of. So really putting a lot of energy into 14 to make sure that come tournament week, it's providing energy for our players and for our fans.
So the FedEx Cup setup is going to be different in the sense that at the Tour Championship at Eastlake in Atlanta, they're not going to give the players the strokes. It's going to be starting from scratch for everybody. Does that affect your field at all? Does it affect the whole FedEx Cup playoffs? And what do you think of that change?
Yeah, I think it's one thing I've always appreciated about our league is that we're willing to adjust. What other league in the world would change the format of their playoffs to 2/3 of the way through the season, right?
Right.
But it was a player-led initiative with a lot of insight from obviously our side, our sponsors, our broadcast partners, to deliver what we believe the fans are looking for. And it was clear the starting strokes was something that had been initiated, I believe, about 7 years ago. And there were still some tweaks to be had. So we listened to the fan feedback. We got with our players. And, you're mentioning the rough at Oakmont, for instance. One of the things they asked for is they want Eastlake to be one of, if not the hardest tournament to win. They want it to be one of the toughest tournaments to qualify for. Only 30 players are getting there. And when they're there, they're going to set that thing up as tough as they possibly can, which I think is an admirable ask from our players to want that sort of challenge. So, it's the first change, I believe, of several that are coming. We'll see it, we'll evaluate it, and go from there. How that impacts us, I think it makes it all the more important to perform well in the weeks leading up to Atlanta, because that's going to be one of the toughest challenges. So, we know TPC Southwind provides an incredible challenge for our players. We're typically up there in the most water balls on tour. And so to get your game right, to really kick off the playoffs and to make sure you're playing your way into the top 30, you need to perform well in Memphis. And so we're excited to continue kicking off the playoffs. I think change is good and can continue to fuel interest and excitement for our sport, which has been on a really good path of momentum over the last year.
Will they is everybody happy with that number of 70 getting in for the start of the playoffs?
Yeah, it seems so. It seems like a really good number. 125 was probably a little bit too many when you try to compare golf and playoffs to other sports and the percentage or quantity of teams versus players that were making it. The other thing that really started last year was the 70 that make it to Memphis are those that are automatically retaining their card for the following year.
Mm-hmm.
You may not be a player that's going to make Eastlake, and that's okay, and that's a reality for some players. But just to make Memphis make the playoffs at 70, you're now secured for the following season, which means you don't really have to play in the fall. You can take a true off season for the first time ever. And so we really have started leaning into that as well to celebrate those players and caddies that make it to Memphis after a hard-fought season. It's a big feat for them. Some of them, that means, officially retaining their card for the first time in their life. And that's a massive achievement for them. So 70 is a great number. 50, whittling down to who moves on to the second round of the BMW Championship. Now that means securing your path into the signature events, all those marquee events across the season, the Genesis, the Arnold Palmer, the Memorial, etc. And so we've really enjoyed the storyline come Memphis on Saturday and Sunday of you may not be in contention for the championship, but we're really paying because that has a big significance on your future and where you're playing next year and the earning potential you have.
All right, final thing for you, Joe. I'm legally obligated every time you're on to ask you about any movement with Liv. I know that you're not a decision maker, but, I keep hearing one way or the other. One way will say, no, they're further apart, and then some say, no, they want to get it done. There's progress. Where do we stand?
Yeah, I think you're probably man. My team is pretty focused on what we've got going on here in the next 54 days.
Yeah.
I think it's been a great year for PGA Tour golf. Ratings are up, attendance is up. Excitement from our fans is really performing at a high level. And so, I think we're really focused on our products, ensuring that we're listening to our fans. Our broadcast partners are really evolving. You see and have recently heard some rumbles in the last 24 hours about a CEO search we're going on.
Yep.
I think we're worried about ourselves and have really made tremendous strides this year, particularly to improve our product.
Mm-hmm.
And, how that impacts any potential future. Would I still love to see some of those players come back? Yeah, for sure. It'd be naive not to say that. But would I say we're in a position where we need it to happen anymore? Probably not.
Right.
And I'm sure that's playing a role in the timeline here. And It's a lot of money, a lot of egos, a lot of things to figure out that I'm quite thankful I don't have to deal with. But it's been encouraging to see the performance and the excitement around PGA Tour golf this year.
Well said, Joe. He's the executive director of the FedEx St. Jude Championship. He is Joe Tomek. Joe, as always, thank you so much. Have a fun day today. I'm sure it'll be quite interesting what the stories will be coming back from the local media, but I'm sure it's going to be all positive. Thank you so much. We'll talk to you very soon.
Thanks, guys. Always a pleasure.
Thank you, Joe. By the way, he answered that perfectly. They don't need it, but it would be nice to have it. And as we watch the U.S. Open, we're watching Brooks Koepka sitting there tied for second. We're watching John Rahm in the mix here early. We'll see what DeChambeau can do after a disappointing first round. There are still enough big names, and there are a number of big names on that tour that you miss out by not having them all together. Still, when that tournament takes place in August in Memphis, I'm not thinking about that. I'm thinking about who's there and how great that will be. Now, I didn't bring up Rory with Joe. I don't think the timing was right, but we'll see what happens. He made the point about these guys really need to fine-tune their machine to be ready for the Tour Championship and to qualify for the top 30. They need to be playing their best, and so the assumption would be that these guys are all going to play, but we know what Rory's already said, and we'll see what ends up happening. But I hope that doesn't lead to a couple of big names not wanting to play because they know they can get to East Lake without having played one of those first two playoff tournaments, and without the strokes given to start, it's all equal, so there's not a problem. They're not already going to be behind. So we'll see how that materializes.
The CEO reference that he made, according to the reporting, Brian Rolap, who has been working with the NFL for a long time, executive vice president with the NFL, leaving the NFL, and he will be named the new CEO of the PGA Tour and work along with Jay Monahan, the commissioner. It's not finalized yet. I believe they've got a meeting on Monday or something of next week where that will be finalized, but it's been reported by all the NFL people that he is leaving the NFL, and that's where he is going, is to go be the CEO of the PGA Tour.
So the PGA Tour, again, reportedly will be getting a guy from the NFL, and it was the NCAA and the new commission that is formed that will be getting a guy, or has a guy now in place, from Major League Baseball. So they are ducking into other different professional or collegiate sports and grabbing officials and people that they feel that they have the trust in that could take them to that next level.
When it comes to firearms, anything firearms, the place to go. That's Classic Arms, 1740 Germantown Parkway, in the shopping center right behind the Corky's Barbecue there in Cordova. Online, classicarmsofmemphis.com. Whether it be handguns, shotguns, rifles, hunting guns, self-defense, whatever. Anything firearms, firearm supplies, you're going to find it at Classic Arms. They got over 700 firearms in stock, all the top names. They've got new guns. They've got used guns as well. Not only do they sell, but they will also buy and trade. They do free gun inspections. They do free gun appraisals. They're the only gun importer here in the Mid-South. Guaranteed the lowest price, again, in all the top brands that you'll find there. It's Classic Arms, 1740 Germantown Parkway, or online 24/7. You can shop at classicarmsofmemphis.com.
We'll get you an update on the U.S. Open when we return. You're tuned into Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Are you getting the lowest possible rate on your mortgage? At Southern Security, we offer low rates, flexible terms, no PMI, and unbeatable service. Refinance your current mortgage with the Mid-South's best mortgage lender. For more information, visit us online at southernsecurity.org or call us at 901-452-7900. Southern Security is an equal housing lender. Southern Security is a proud supporter of University of Memphis Athletics. Southern Security, your home team credit, federally insured by NCUA.
No way am I letting travel constipation ruin this trip.
Since I'm such a smart traveler, can I move to first class? From the makers of Miralax, new Miralax soft chews work naturally with your body in as little as 30 minutes to give you a comfortable go on the go. Find Miralax today at your local retailer. It's directed for occasional constipation. Contains magnesium hydroxide.
Hi, I'm Troy Five-Ash with Five-Ash Roofing. Ever wonder what happens when a contractor saves money on materials? Well, they usually put that money in their pocket. Five-Ash Roofing has negotiated new lower prices for the materials we use. Instead of putting that savings in my pocket, I've decided to pass it on to you. You can call it a sale, reduced pricing, a limited time offer, or even a blue light special. We call it fair, honest, ethical, and the right thing to do. If you've been wondering if now is the right time to get a new roof, only you can answer that, but now is a good time to see how much you can save. Don't forget we have best price guarantees, the best warranty in the business, and superb ratings with the BBB and Google+. We don't use high-pressure sales tactics, and we never will. We're family-owned and operated with roots in the Memphis area. For a fair and honest roof assessment and estimate, call 5-Ash Roofing at 488-4991 or check us out at memphisroofer.com.
Spring is in the air, and it's the perfect time to grill, chill, and save with Choates. Install a new generator, tankless water heater, or Carrier HVAC system, and you'll get your choice of a free green egg grill or 36 months no-interest financing. Stay powered during storms, enjoy endless hot water, and slash your cooling costs this summer with a high-efficiency Carrier system, and grill some slow-smoke barbecue on us. But hurry, this special ends soon. And if you're dealing with plumbing or electrical problems, Choates is here for you too. Give us a try and take $60 off your repair. Leaky faucet, clogged drain, broken outlet, lights flickering? Call Choates and save $60 on your plumbing or electrical repair service. Call 347-8086 or visit ChoatesHVAC.com today. And remember, Choates, let our family serve your family.
Now back to Sports 56 mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers.
To reveal the full spectrum of dazzling color.
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, 8:51 the time. Hour 2 here on the program. By the way, if you missed our interview with Brendan Lewis, one of the Tigers quarterbacks, we'll get that posted for you on our website, sportsmemphis.com, and we'll have it under featured audio so you can check it out very easily. U.S. Open continues, early action in round number 2. So J.J. Spawn has not started his second round. Shot a bogey-free 466 yesterday, just a brilliant round. And right now you got Brooks Koepka on the course at 1 under. He's now 3 under. Thurston Lawrence. Who? Thurston Lawrence from South Africa. How do you not know who he is? He's also at 3 under par. He'll start later this afternoon, his second round.
So they are, today, the 8th hole, the par 3, they are playing it at 299 yards. The 17th hole, the par 4, is playing 305. So a 6-yard difference between the par 3 8th and the par 4 17th.
Well, here's the 17th we're looking at right now with Scheffler.
I mean,
what did you say, 305?
Yes.
So here he is. I just saw Hovland lose his stick in his hand. That's way left, isn't it? And then it still just missed the green. Now this one's going to go right up the neck. So, yeah, it's a good shot, just a little bit short. But Hovland went over the pin, past the pin to the rough, but you could see his ball, 305 off the tee, and he lost the club like in his hand. I mean, it's amazing, even when that happens, to still have that type of control. So what else is going on early? Burns, looks like Sam Burns, who played incredibly well but lost the playoff to Fox in Canada, is there. Victor Hovland, got some names. John Rahm's even, hanging around. Colin Morikawa is even. A Daniel Berger sighting, Eli.
Yeah, there's some, you've got Sam Burns is 3 under on his round today. Victor Hovland's 2 under. Corey Connors is 2 under today. Daniel Berger's 2 under today. Chris Kirk is 2 under today. So there's some guys out there taking advantage again of calm conditions and putting up some low scores so far here today. And we'll see if as the day goes along, like yesterday, if the wind picks up at least a little bit and the course gets a little bit more difficult as the day goes along. But again, they're really, really good. This course is really, really hard, but these guys are really, really good.
Well, the heavy favorite, Scotty Scheffler, is only even on his round through 7. He started on the back. He is +3 for the tournament. Just hasn't been really – he hasn't gotten it going. He just made, I think, last hole a 15-footer for par. So that was a huge par putt. But, again, 3 over, you're playing the weekend. But, obviously, Scotty would love to throw in a couple of birdies or maybe even an eagle and get at least a +1 while ending the second round and be in shouting distance. But you expect, which is probably the obvious thing, for maybe Spawn to come back to earth?
Yeah, I mean, I would. He certainly ain't. He's not going to shoot another bogey-free round. I would, if you set the over/under at 73, I'd probably go over for him today. Will Chandler, by the way, who was, 8 over through 4, he's recovered nicely. He's only 13 over on his round today.
Attaboy.
He is now he's now +21. 13 over through 11 today.
Law enforcement in Miami-Dade County seeking to arrest former NFL wide receiver Antonio Brown on a charge of attempted murder. The charge stems from a shooting Brown was allegedly involved in during a celebrity boxing event in Miami last month. The warrant shows a charge of attempted murder with a firearm. It also instructs Brown to post a $10,000 bond and remain on house arrest until trial. Brown was detained by police after gunshots were fired at a boxing event. Let's see. Gunshots could clearly be heard after the altercation. Police released Brown after a few hours, and he posted an explanation to social media the following day. He said, "I was jumped by multiple individuals who tried to steal my jewelry and cause physical harm to me. I went home that night and was not arrested. I will be talking to my legal counsel and attorneys on pressing charges on the individuals that jumped me." Boy, that guy, what has happened to him? A terrific NFL player, a game changer at times, and then everything since then has been just off the rails.
He is a bit crazy.
Not the first one for this to happen to in sports or entertainment, in the limelight, people that we hear about, and it won't be the last. All right, we'll take a timeout. When we come back, we're going to open up hour number 3 with 10 in a row, the game show that has swept the nation. If you'd like to participate, you can jump on the Sissy's Log Cabin listener lines right now. Don't get shut out. 901-360-8255. It's brought to you each and every week by our great friends at Napa Cafe. That'll open up hour 3 for us. Lots more to get to. We'll get back into the talk of the NBA Finals, which resume tonight with Game 4 in Indiana. The Pacers leading the Thunder 2-1. You're tuned in to Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
From the first legal distillery in Texas, Tito's is 6 times distilled till it's just right and naturally gluten-free, making it a high-quality spirit that mixes with just about everything. From the smoothest martinis to the best Bloody Marys, beyond the bottle, Tito's has gained a reputation for giving back, teaming up with nonprofits around the world to serve its community and do good for dogs. Make your next cocktail with Tito's and learn more at Tito'sVodka.com. 40% alcohol by volume, mainly 80 proof, crafted to be savored responsibly.
Andy Wise here. For 6 years, I've endorsed Pella Windows and Doors of Memphis and the Mid-South as the standard in affordable luxury. Now get this. Pella just got more affordable. 12 months, no interest, no payments on what Consumer Reports has rated the highest quality windows on the planet, plus 50% off installation. That includes consumer guarantees no other window company will ever match. You have my word. You'll make the wise choice when you choose Pella Windows and Doors of Memphis and the Mid-South.
When you're hungry for good meat, trust the family that has been feeding Memphis since 1967. Charlie Hogan and the Triangle Meat Company, formerly Children's Meat Market. Trust Triangle Meat for fresh beef, hamburger, and roast. Trust Triangle Meat for delicious pork ribs, chops, and butts. And trust Triangle Meat for tender chicken you'll love. Eating lots of pork, the Triangle Meat Company has all the meat you need. Shop Triangle Meat Company, 8 to 5, Monday through Saturday, 4790 Summer Avenue, 901-683-1192. Fresh or frozen, big or small, trust Triangle Meat Company.
Visit Frontier Western Store today for new shirts and boots. Frontier is your top Carhartt store in the Mid-South. There's thousands of in-stock shirts and jeans. They have the classic K87 pocket tee in every color they make, including new ones just released. Available small to 4X. Want new jeans? Frontier has you covered with super tough work in them by Carhartt. And you've got to check out their selection of area jeans for men, women, and children. You'll love how easy it is to find the size and style you need. Have you seen Frontier's remodeled world-famous boot showroom? It continues to expand. New styles by area just arrived, plus plenty of in-stock proven classics too. Whether you need work or dress boots, trust that Frontier is the place to come. See thousands of pairs of Ariat boots and thousands more by Dan Post, Corral, Durango, Rocky, Twisted X, and others. And Frontier's pricing is lower than online and chain stores, so you know just the local shop to visit. Frontier Western Store, 5880 Goodman Road in Olive Branch, and on the web at frontierwesternstore.com. Locally owned and operated since 1967.
I'm Gary York. I'm the service director of Lexus in Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 901-271-5199.
This traffic brought to you by Raleigh Tire Auto Service, your local family-owned business for over 60 years.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. Wrapping up a couple of ranks we had out here earlier. It's starting to build again, coming in from Fayette County into Shelby County. There's been some rain out in parts of Fayette County and up in Tipton County within the last hour. Traffic's busy right now in Midtown, busier than it was on 240 northbound here up by Lamar. Weimer's Jewelry is your diamond engagement ring headquarters this bridal season. Stop by this weekend and shop local at Weimer's Jewelry on Highway 64. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
WHBQ Memphis and W253DF Memphis with Brett Mooresworthy and Brian Dacus. Weekday afternoons from 3 to 6. Now back to Sports 56 mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 once again, our Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everyone. 9:02 the time. Final hour for us this week here on Sports 56 Mornings. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, and Elijah Seegers. We're live and local every day from the Family Leisure Studios. Family Leisure. May want to check them out this weekend for all your summer needs, for all your year-round needs. Family Leisure. Fun stuff. Just a fun place to walk around. 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. Currently 74 degrees. It's going to get up to 84 today. Scattered thunderstorms possible with a chance of about 45%. And then tonight, 71 degrees for your low. Thunderstorms early, then variable clouds. The percentage increases to 60%, with still a chance of showers overnight. And then Saturday, a little bit of sun, a little bit of clouds, possibly a little bit of rain, 87 for a high, about a 60% chance of precipitation. Hour 3 of the program brought to you by Jenkins Floors and More. They're located at 2356 Goodman Road in Horn Lake, Mississippi. If you are looking at doing a do-it-yourself project of laying down flooring or carpeting in your home or your place of business, wherever it may be, for all you contractors out there, your do-it-yourself homeowners, it just makes sense. Jenkins Floors and More, top-of-the-line material, including hardwoods by Portercraft, carpeting from Southern Luxury Carpet, and they sell it wholesale. Skip the middleman, save you lots of money in the process. You get that family atmosphere. It's a family-owned and operated business, so why would you go anywhere else? You can go to the big box stores, be another number, but I'm telling you, at Jenkins, you're getting top-of-the-line material, discounted price, great service. And if you want Jenkins to do the job for you, they promise a 2-week turnaround. They'll come to you wherever you are. They will give you a free estimate. They'll show you what it will look like, bring samples to you, and then you go with Jenkins. They'll have the job done in 2 weeks. That's their promise to you. For all you Sports 56 listeners out there, you get a family discount. Military and first responders, you get 10% off. Again, why go anywhere else? Conveniently located to really a hop, skip, and a jump to anywhere in the metropolitan Memphis area. They're in Horn Lake, in DeSoto County at 2356 Goodman Road. You can call them at 662-469-9350. Open Monday through Saturday. Great family, great service at Jenkins Floors and more. So Victor Hovland, I was telling you before the break, he almost drove the green on the par 305, and he lost control of the stick. And I'm like, oh, that's going to be way off. It just missed the green, but was in the heavy stuff in the first cut. He pops it out, rolls it in. I don't know how long that was, but rolls it in for an eagle. And he goes to 3 under par, tied with Thurston Lawrence, one behind J.J. Spawn. In the meantime, Scotty Scheffler has an eagle attempt on the same hole, blows it by 12 to 15 feet for the eagle, misses the birdie by, 4 or 5 feet, Eli? And then misses the par putt. So he goes to 4 over. It just may not be Scotty Scheffler's weekend or week.
Yeah, Hovland gains 3 shots on him on that hole. Wow. Again, and so Scheffler makes a bogey on the 305-yard par 4. Mentioned again, that's one hole you really need to take advantage of out there is that hole, and makes a bogey there. He's continued to struggle with his driver. He's got the poles going, and when you're not in the fairway out there, it's not going to be easy to make your way around Old Oakmont.
You know, I've been pretty good on my predictions in golf so far, and had Rory at the Masters and had Scotty at the PGA. I do a little round robin with my son and a friend who you know, and I had the first pick. I had to take Scheffler, but I really, to myself, I'm thinking, I can't not take him, and then he goes and wins, but I really didn't have the vibe for Scotty this week. And, you know, he still can come back. There's plenty of time. But the one I was thinking was DeChambeau, and he didn't have a great first round. So it's going to be very important for DeChambeau this afternoon, where more than likely the conditions will be a little bit tougher with the wind if we see the same thing as we did yesterday as the wind started to increase during the afternoon hours. But and of course, J.J. Spawn, who had the great first round, will have to go this afternoon. But look out. Here comes a guy like Victor Hovland right now who's got to be feeling pretty good about himself. Well, if you'd like to participate in 10 in a row, 360-8255 is the number because, yeah, it's that time.
Not 5, not 6, not 7, not 8, not 9, but 10 in a row.
It's the game show that has swept the nation. It's 10 in a row. It's brought to you each and every week by Napa Cafe.
That's right, Napa Cafe. Celebrating 27 years in business, producing great food, just a great place to go enjoy a great night out, whether just a casual night out, celebrating a special occasion, whatever it might be. 5 different dining rooms, including their private wine cellar, which is great if you're celebrating a special occasion. Go check out that wine cellar at Napa Cafe. They're located at 5101 Sanderlin. Again, just absolutely great food. And if you've been doing it in business for 27 years in the restaurant business, clearly you know what you're doing and you're producing great food, like their double chocolate stout braised boneless beef short ribs, or some of their great seafood dishes like their ginger buttered sea bass. They've got all kinds of great things to choose from on the menu, which you can check out at napacafe.com. You can also make reservations on the website at napacafe.com. They're open for dinner Wednesday through Saturday, starting at 5 o'clock, again at 5101 Sanderlin. And for our prize package today, with the U.S. Open going on, I've gone big time bonuses for the golf world out there. We've got our $50 gift certificate to Napa Cafe. Also got a $25 gift certificate to Elwood's Shack. So you got some food. You got to make sure you get some good food.
Sure.
But got golf for 4 at Miramichi. Mm-hmm. $25 gift certificate to Putt Putt Golf and Games.
Nice, just was there.
And going to throw in a couple of free buckets, large buckets of balls for the St. Louis Church Hole-in-One Festival next week. Of course, out at St. Louis Church, but 2 large buckets of balls as well for the St. Louis Church Hole-in-One Festival. I'll throw into the prize package. Oh, and by the way, how about a couple of Malco movie passes?
Great prize package, 360-8255. If you have won in the last month, you are ineligible. Here is the question. Most people expecting a golf question today. No! You thought I was going to zig? I'm zagging. NBA players who have won multiple NBA Finals MVPs and at least one regular season MVP. NBA players who have won multiple NBA Finals MVPs and at least one regular season MVP. 360-8255 is the number.
If I had to guess, I would say the total value of that prize package that's gotta be in the $400 range.
Yeah, you're proud of yourself, aren't you? Putting that together. Well, it didn't come out of your pocket. I'm sure you're very happy.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the exact value of the Miramichi Golfer 4 is, but yeah, it'd be about a $400 package if I had to guess. 360-8255. 360-8255 is the phone number to play 10 in a row and try and win that massive prize package. Again, Golfer 4 at Miramichi, $50 to Napa Cafe, $25 to Elwood Shack, $25 to Putt Putt Golf and Games, a couple of Malco movie passes, a couple of free large buckets of balls out at the St. Louis Church Hole-in-One Festival.
All right. 360-8255. Just double checking something here. I'm going to make sure. Didn't make a mistake here. Go ahead, talk.
Got late changes.
Well, I got to double check on one thing. I think I'm okay. I think I'm correct. I've been correct here.
Could have 10 in a row controversy.
Yeah, I'm trying to avoid that. No, that's right.
The rules officials are taking a look at this to make sure everything is correct.
We are doing that. We are doing just that, making sure. I'm good with that. I'm good with that. Where is this guy?
Victor Hovland, by the way, he hit it in the rough off the tee, just had to get it back in play. So will be struggling to make par on 18, which is the 9th hole of the day.
Yeah, coming off the eagle, too.
Scotty Scheffler in the bunker off the tee, as is Victor Morikawa. So none of the three able to hit the fairway on number 18 off the tee.
All right, I'm good.
All right, 360-8255, 360-8255 to play 10 in a row. Again, massive prize package on the line for today's winner. And leading us off will be Matt. Hey, Matt.
Hello.
Hey, Matt. NBA players who have won multiple NBA Finals MVPs and at least one regular season MVP. Moses Malone.
Yes.
360-8255 is the number.
Next up is Carl. Hello, Carl.
Hey, Carl.
How's it going, fellas?
Going well. Willis Reed.
Yes.
Scottie Pippen.
No.
Wilt Chamberlain.
No.
Isaiah Thomas.
No.
Magic Johnson.
Yes.
Casey Jones.
No.
LeBron James.
Yes.
Tim Duncan.
Yes.
Kobe Bryant.
Yes.
Kevin Durant.
Yes.
How about Carl?
Carl, very well done, sir. Congratulations. You got a massive prize package coming your way. Hold on.
That's why it pays to get on early. That's 2 straight weeks I know of, top of my head. I think last week it was the second caller. Maybe in the first. No, I think it was the second. Second caller this time around. And Carl will take home. I don't know if Carl's a father or not, but it's a great Father's Day present, that gift package that we put together here at Sports 56.
But Carl's a golfer. If not, I hope he knows a golfer.
Well, yeah, I'm sure there's somebody, if it's not him. But, yeah, I tried to make it a little bit harder, a little twist to it, but he nailed that one. So list one we didn't get to except for the first guy, Moses Malone, which was a no. Bob Cousy.
Yes.
No. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Yes.
Steph Curry.
No.
Larry Bird.
Yes.
Kevin Garnett.
No.
Hakeem Olajuwon.
Yes.
Kawhi Leonard.
No.
Tony Parker.
No.
Jerry West.
Yes.
That's a no. So, yeah, the one I had to double check on was Kawhi to make sure he didn't win a regular season MVP. But we never got to Kawhi as Carl crushed list number 2. That's 10 in a row. It's brought to you each and every week by Napa Cafe. Again, for next Friday, do yourself a favor, get in early. The guinea pigs are out the window now. You guys are too good. You're too good. I put a little twist on that question. Carl still nailed it. So congratulations. Enjoy, Carl. Enjoy. Happy Father's Day, by the way, to all the pops out there.
Last night in Major League Baseball, the Brewers brought up one of their top prospects, pitcher, who pitched against the Cardinals last night, Jacob Mizorowski.
Mm-hmm.
Went 5 innings, did not give up a hit. That dude, you talk about intimidating, 6'7", and he's hitting them 102, 103 pretty consistently. Like, yeah, dude, man, when you're that tall, I mean, first of all, it looks like you're probably throwing from like 3 feet in front of the guy.
Right.
And he's throwing it at 100. His first pitch of the game, I think, was 100. I think the second pitch was 102, something like that. And then he actually left the game because he rolled his ankle just like walking back onto the mound. He was like awkward. It looked like his ankles just like completely quit working or something. He like rolled it 2 different times. So they ended up taking him out of the game. It's nothing serious at all, but there's been a lot of talk about this kid, what he's been doing in the minor leagues and how hard he throws. And we got to see it last night. Again, 5 innings, no hits allowed against the Cardinals in his major league debut. And that dude throws it hard.
There seems to be more hard throwers now. Is it just evolution, more ways that these athletes take care of their bodies, the technology, the science? As long as they're not, doing the roids, it seems like there's a lot of guys that can get it over triple digits, or at least up to triple digits. And, that was very hard back in the day. Like, I don't know how hard Gibson threw, right? He was intimidating because he'd throw it at you, but how hard was he throwing? 93?
I have no idea.
I don't know. I don't have an answer. But it just seems like there's a lot more. Now, does that...
athletes are bigger, stronger.
Right. Is it just evolution?
They know how to, there's enough science to tell you how to train, what things, with all the different spin rate and everything else, everything they can figure out. Like, they know how to train guys to throw harder. And so... But
the question is, can they do it for a long period of time, or will they break down? Because throwing a baseball is not a natural thing. Throwing a baseball at over 100 miles is certainly not natural. Now, this is an underhand softball. And so the stress and wear on the arm, it's incredible. We have seen so many pitchers in the last 25 years flickered out because of injuries. You can go over the list of guys from Strasburg to Pryor, to so many of them. Whereas I don't remember too many pitchers from my youth that had career-ending injuries. The Carltons, the Seavers, the Gibsons, the Loliches, they all just seem to pitch forever. Nolan Ryan. And Nolan Ryan could throw gas. But I want to... Elijah, see if you could look that up. See how hard Nolan Ryan threw at his peak. Because he had to be the hardest thrower in baseball for a number of years. Even Clemens wasn't throwing 100. But those guys had the sustainability. They were there. They were always dependable. They didn't have arm breakdown. I'm not saying that'll happen to this guy, but just, you wonder.
It's for again, for a starting pitcher to be throwing as hard as he is I mean, again, with relievers, we see it a lot. It seems like every reliever in baseball throws 98 or above. It's one thing to do it for an inning, but this guy, as a starter, to be hitting 102, 103, that's some. Again, he's 6'7", so it's so long and everything else as it is, and then coming at you at that. I mean, that dude, that's got to be tough to hit.
They say Nolan Ryan topped out in 1974 at 101 miles
Okay,
per
I'm
hour.
wrong. He was over 100. Okay. But I knew he was the hardest thrower at that time. Randy Johnson, you talk about him intimidating because of his size at 6'8", releasing the ball. It seemed like he was 1 foot from you. What did Randy throw at his peak?
He was in the upper 90s.
Yeah, like 98, 99.
I'm sure he probably got to 100.
Yeah, but now guys like 103. Who's the hardest thrower? Who's the guy that, and you may know this, Elijah, just in the last maybe 5 years, some dude that was like 104.
Ben Joyce.
Is that him?
He plays for the Angels from Tennessee. He topped out at 106.
106.
Yeah, that dude, he is.
Dude,
yeah.
That's sick. 106? That is amazing. All right, so we know, because we were talking about with Carl's big win in 10 in a row, Father's Day, this Sunday, Dinstall's. You got to love Dinstall's. They have so many sweet treats to celebrate your dad. You get the trio of brittles. You get the cashew crunch, the pecan brittle, and the peanut brittle, right? That's the big trio. And they got a very special price right now on the trio of brittles. They have the turtlettes, the chocolate-covered nuts. I love the chocolate-covered pretzels. The fresh raspberry, strawberries, grapes, and pineapple dipped in that delicious Dinstall's fondant and chocolate. Stop by any of the 5 stores. Make Dad feel special. That's what I asked for from my wife, chocolate-covered pretzels. I know it's not great on my svelte figure, but my gosh, are they good. Peanut brittle is interesting because peanut brittle, as a little leaguer, we used to have to go around the neighborhood and sell peanut brittle. Did you ever have to do that, peanut brittle?
Never sold peanut brittle.
Yeah, we had to sell the little canisters of peanut brittle. I like peanut brittle. Be careful, though, if you have a filling or something like that. But they have delicious peanut brittle. They have delicious cashew crunch. They have the chocolate and all different types of fudges as well. Oh, my gosh. Dinstall's is so delicious. So make Dad happy. 5 locations: Collierville, Germantown, Laurelwood, Pleasant View, where they make the candies, and downtown Memphis, putting smiles on people's faces for over 122 years. Dinstall's fine candies and chocolates.
Victor Hovland did make a bogey on 18, so as they make the turn, he is 3 under on his round, 2 under for the tournament. Sam Burns made the turn at 4 under on his round and 2 under for the tournament. They sit 2 shots behind J.J. Spawn, 1 shot behind Thurston Lawrence, who have yet to tee off. Spawn will go off at 11:52 this morning. Lawrence is this afternoon, 1:20 his tee time. And Scotty Scheffler was able to save a par on 18, so he makes the turn 4 over for the tournament.
We will take a timeout. When we come back, we'll talk NBA Finals, College Baseball World Series. Sissy's Log Cabin listener lines open to you. You can call in or text in at 901-360-8255. You're tuned into Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Pools, and more pools. Yes, it is pool time at Family Leisure. Family Leisure is already booking pool installs, so you need to buy now and get on that list. 24-foot pools start at $19.99 install. Liners are starting at $2.99. You're going to need some pool accessories, so they're all up to 20% off. Not quite ready for a pool? That's fine. Get a 5 or 6 person hot tub starting at under $7,000. You can also go for a swim spa or perhaps a cold plunge tub. Those are now $2,000 off. Get patio furniture up to 50% off on select sets. Buy your pool now. Get on that install list. Mention this commercial, and your install is free. It's underlined in the in-bold print, so you know it's big. It's pool time at Family Leisure. Family Leisure, Whitten Road at I-40, where family and fun come together.
to enjoy long days, lazy nights, and zero work. Because Uber Eats has deals all summer long. So when hunger strikes, don't sweat it. Delicious deals are just a tap away on Uber Eats. Enjoy all your favorite food delivered straight to you. Get Burger King, Subway, Popeyes, and hundreds more local favorites and savor every last bite. Now that sounds like a good summer. Order now on Uber Eats. Terms apply. Product availability varies by region. See app for details.
Corky's barbecue. Cooking it up. Down home way. Hickory smoke flavor like a good old day.
Hey, y'all, Jimmy Stone over here with Corky's Barbecue. Catering is our specialty. Millions of trusted Corky's to cater their events for 40 years. As we make it easy to eat and delicious for your guests. Whether it's 50 people or thousands, our experienced team comes to your location, sets up, serves, and ensures everyone enjoys a Corky's all-you-can-eat barbecue buffet starting at only $7.99 per person. You can't beat it. With 40 years of experience, it's easy to see why customers choose Corky's time and time again for all of their catering needs. Visit Corky'sBBQ.com to book us for your next order.
Encore flavor. Corky's barbecue.
This traffic report brought to you by Triangle Meat Company, feeding Memphis since 1967. Open 8 to 5, Monday through Friday, 4790 Summer Avenue. Trust Triangle Meat Company.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. A little bit more volume coming down the interstate here on I-40 westbound from Germantown Parkway down to Sycamore View Road. Coming inbound on Sam Cooper seems to have picked up just a bit. It's heavier than it was there in Midtown just a few minutes ago as we checked it out live on 240 north up by Lamar. Weimer's Jewelry serving Memphis now for over 40 years. Go by and see them this weekend and shop local at Weimer's Jewelry, 7525 Highway 64. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports 56 mornings on Sports 56.
Welcome back, everyone. 9:25 is the time. Pacers, you talked about their problems in games 3, and then, of course, they come back and they win game 3. They're 3-0 in game 4s in this year's playoff. The Pacers are currently plus 200 to win game 4, according to BetMGM. Oklahoma City is listed as a 5.5-point favorite, and that's what they were listed for game 3. 5.5-point favorite. Of course, Indiana won that game. 7:30 tonight on ABC. But again, you get plus 200 if you want to take the Pacers. They played amazing in game 3, and they have been great. I have underestimated and undervalued Indiana the entire postseason. I don't see them winning tonight. I think it's going to be just like it is in hockey, 2-2, and the series turning into a best 2 of 3. But if Indiana wins tonight, they're going to win the series. It's going to be over.
I wouldn't say that, but
well, again, I'm not saying it's impossible, but we talked about this with Varlas. What did you say? Teams leading 2-1, 80% of the time they win the series?
in series that are tied 1-1, the team that wins game 3 to go up 2-1, and I think it's 80, it's right around 80%. It may not be an actual 80. I can't remember exactly what the number is.
Okay, so that's a very high percentage. I still don't. I look at that and go, I don't care. I mean, I still think Oklahoma City's winning the series. But if Indiana wins tonight and they're up 3-1, I mean, what are the odds going to be for Oklahoma City to come back and win? Like, again, I said it's not impossible. But I just don't see them winning game 4. But I've been wrong about them an awful lot. And so has other people, if you're being honest.
Yeah, I mean, nobody thought that. A lot of people thought Indiana, or most people believed Indiana wouldn't win 2 games in the series. I mean, the odds, the favorite or most likely thing for the series was Oklahoma City winning in 5 games. So most people did not believe Indiana was going to win 2 games in the entire series, let alone win 2 of the first 3. And they've been absolutely terrific. Oklahoma City was completely worn down in the fourth quarter of Game 3. Be interesting to see, do they try and get more rest for SGA maybe earlier in this game? I mean, that's what Indiana has continued to do throughout the playoffs. They wear teams down, and then they dominate fourth quarters for the most part. And they did it the other night, and we'll see if Daignault makes any changes with that starting lineup and maybe takes Case and Wallace out of there and goes with the two bigs or Caruso or somebody else. I don't know. We'll see what they want to do there. But, and SGA said, listen, as far as the fatigue goes, you just got to suck it up and do it. But I would think that they would be well served to try and find maybe a little bit more rest for him earlier in that game to have him a little stronger for the fourth quarter, because he, like everybody else, was completely exhausted in that fourth quarter.
Yeah, and again, Oklahoma City has a great bench. They have a deep bench. They need to utilize it more. Yeah, the Pacers play with that tempo that not a lot of teams can play, and they wear you down, but they're especially going to wear down teams that aren't deep, that run an 8-man, maybe a 9-man rotation. Oklahoma City can go deeper, and I do believe that they will make that change, as we've talked about all week long, get Hartenstein back in the starting lineup. By the way, one person, you said a lot of people thought they'd win in 5, and you're right about that. One of the people who definitely thought they'd win in 5 is a guy named Jay-Z. Did you hear about the bet?
Mm-hmm.
So Jay-Z's worth over $1 billion, if not $2 billion. I don't know what he's worth. He's worth so much. So $1 million to Jay-Z is a drop in the bucket. But he bet $1 million that, and do you know what it was going to pay out if he won?
I don't know for sure. I think the Oklahoma City in 5, again, it was the favorite of those. I think if I remember correctly, when I looked at it before the series, it was like plus 220 or something like that, but I'm not sure on that.
Okay. And I don't know how much of a gambler he is, or he just felt like doing that for this. He felt so confident, but obviously he lost. He had them in 5. He bet $1 million on Oklahoma City to win in 5. And that bet went up in smoke. But again, $1 million to him is probably $5 to us.
He might have hedged. He might have bet Indiana, but might have put $1 million on Indiana the other night.
Well, if he did that, it's not out there publicly. But yeah, that's still a lot of money. I don't care how much you're worth, that's still a lot of money. So anyway, tonight, 7:30, Game 4, Oklahoma City, a 5.5-point favorite once again against the Indiana Pacers. So I was reading yesterday. Elijah, did you see anything more on that we were talking about?
Yeah, from what I saw, it's that the Grizzlies would be involved in a 3-team deal involving Kevin Durant. They would not be getting Kevin Durant, but they would be facilitating the deal and getting maybe a quality wing in return.
Yeah, so I saw yesterday, and again, it didn't come from Shams. I don't know how reputable, and it wasn't like something concrete, but the rumor mill had Memphis, while not a team that was named by Shams as one that is interested in acquiring Kevin Durant, although Memphis has kicked the tire on that before. They aren't one of the ones looked at right now as possibly a landing spot for Durant, especially because Katie doesn't want to come to Memphis, but that the Grizzlies could be very much involved in the Durant deal as a facilitator, as a third team. That gets complicated for me, like how that all works and everything, but that could be where they end up getting that wing. And then what they have with that exception after, hopefully negotiating a deal with Jaren Jackson Jr. can go and help themselves out with a big, that would work out perfectly. I mean, they're not going to make some incredible trade in the offseason. At least I don't think so. Although it's interesting, Boston wanting to shed a little bit of salary, guys that would be available, maybe even a Derek White, who I love. But that would be the way to fulfill their needs, because you don't have it straight free agency money to go after those two positions. And if you can facilitate a trade, be a part of that, pick up a good wing there, get your big to help out because of the uncertainty of Edey. Now, I've also heard that maybe they look at backup point, but what are we looking at with Scottie Pippen? Isn't Scottie Pippen backup point who came into his own last year? Because I know that there's a guy who used to play for Memphis who in Phoenix, the word is that, he may be on the open market and maybe like not being able to get anything more than a veteran's minimum. I'm talking about Tyus Jones. I don't know where those things stand, but Scottie Pippen, to me, was a pretty valuable player for the Grizzlies and a guy I thought highly of, and he ended up not letting me down. But do you try to upgrade that? So I don't know about that position, but that's what I've heard. 3 areas, point, the big, the wing. Maybe they can conquer that with the trade because you just can't conquer all that free agency-wise because they're limited.
Yeah, I think if they could upgrade the backup point guard position, they probably would. I don't think it's in any situation that's high up necessarily on the to-do list. I think they're okay with Scottie Pippen Jr., but would if there's something out there, a veteran that would work, that they could get in that position, certainly I think that would be something they would look at.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see a thing. The facilitating of the trade, normally you facilitate trades because you have cap space, because you could what's what they did with the, the Golden State Warrior guy that never played here.
You're talking about
Andre Iguodala.
Yeah.
The Andre Iguodala trade. Like, they facilitated that trade because they had cap space at the time. They took him in. You get draft picks out of it, all that stuff. But this way, I don't know how they would be a facilitator because they don't have the cap space to do it. But obviously, there's something there that they would be able to do to help a trade possibly get facilitated in that situation. But again, I mean, they're especially again if they go under the cap to do the Jaren thing. It greatly reduces what you have as far as the exception is concerned. And we know they're not going to go sign impact free agents generally anyway.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to have to be done by trades and getting creative. And if they don't do the renegotiate with Jaren and they stay above stay where they are now cap wise, and they've got the non-taxpayer exception, with $14 million or whatever that is around. If you could maybe overpay somebody a little bit, maybe you can get somebody that could have an impact with that. But generally, it's going to have to be done through a trade if you're going to get somebody here that's really going to make an impact on the team.
It seems like, from everything I've read about Durant, is that Phoenix wants to make a trade before the draft. They want this done before the draft. That's 2 weeks from now.
Yeah, they're trying to get draft
picks
because they don't have any. They gave them all up. They're trying to get either some of theirs back that they gave up to get Durant or whatever. They've given up all their draft picks. So, they would like to get some draft picks to actually be able to start rebuilding that team.
Yeah, and again, who knows? It's just out there, but perhaps Memphis is involved. And if so, we'll know sooner than later, again, if Phoenix is going to be able to pull off something before the draft. I saw this yesterday, Jason Munz from the Commercial Appeal, and I'm not sure if he had it first, but I saw it with Jason on Twitter, that Dane Danger worked out for the Grizzlies a couple of days ago, and then reportedly was planning on working out yesterday with the Pacers. I'm not sure if that happened or not, but he's worked out with some other teams as well because, quite frankly, you have to do that. Not that he is going to be drafted. You never know. But he still sits and waits a ruling from the NCAA about whether or not he will be given an extra year of eligibility. I don't think it's going to happen. I would never count my chickens on anything with the NCAA versus Memphis. But he's doing all the right things as far as trying to get that name out there. He obviously wasn't in the draft. He wasn't at the combine. He could be drafted, but he wasn't a player that had eligibility and elected to go to the NBA and be eligible for the draft. It's a very odd, really unusual situation he's in, but worked out for the Grizzlies. I've seen a number of different players saying that they worked out, or reporters that said that they were working out for the Grizzlies. And again, the Grizzlies have 2 second-round picks. So the names that you're seeing are not exactly Cooper Flagg.
The whole danger thing, I still don't like it, and it's confusing. And I guess maybe the NCAA will have ruled before the draft, but I still like, if theoretically, if he got drafted, but then got the year of eligibility back, I guess can he just go back to college, even though he's just been drafted into the NBA? I have no idea how that would work.
Did you happen to see the story from Dan Wolken about Zakai Ziegler?
I did not.
So basically he said, SEC Commissioner Greg Sankey's dramatic insistence that schools want to be governed by these new rules is already in question if Tennessee is set on undermining them to benefit their basketball team. So Sankey has said, we're all in. We want these rules. We want to have really unilateral rules with the help of Congress or whatever it is, but we want to have rules that govern everybody. We don't want states and different rules for everybody, which is the way it is right now. And so he says, my schools are all in. We're all in. And then basically Wolken is saying, okay, and then right away, boom, Tennessee files an affidavit supporting Zakai Ziegler's 5th year. It was a problematic move and shows just how hard it is to keep schools together, even though they're supposedly kumbaya and they want these rules. But people pointed out also that the Ziegler thing was started before the House settlement. It was before anything came, and there's still nothing in place yet. So I tend to agree with some of the folks. I understand what Dan's saying, but I also agree with the folks that, look, this process had started. I don't think this is undermining what Greg Sankey wants from his schools. I think this is just a kid who had a great career at Tennessee, and they're trying to help him out, and that's the way he wants to go.
Well, they're completely unrelated. Greg Sankey's talked about they want rules. It's dealing with NIL and the revenue sharing, and everybody wants to they're all saying that we want rules on this, guidelines, everything else. Talking about a 5th year of eligibility has nothing to do with that. Greg Sankey's not referencing 5th year of eligibility stuff when he's talking about they want rules.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. I think Wolken was talking about just like, again, trying to go off on your own. All my schools are together. Like we're all going to do the same. We're going to be following the Pied Piper, which happens to be Sankey. But no, schools are still going to do what's best for the school or best for their athletes. So yeah, I tend to agree with the responses, what you just said, and really I think Dan's a little bit off on this one. His overall point, if you start to see the rules implemented and then schools trying to maneuver around those rules or try to do something different that's not within the parameters of what the league wants to do, then you have an issue. But I don't think that's an issue right now. All right, we'll take a timeout. We'll come back. Final segment. We'll get to a couple of things that we haven't talked much about, including the College Baseball World Series, which is underway. The SEC, which has 2 of the 8 teams, 25% of the teams, trying to do something. I don't know what the longest streak is as far as a champion from the same league, but they have had 5 straight champions, all different champions. With a chance, it could be a 6th. We'll talk about that when we return. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Air. We breathe it naturally. Simple, right? Not so fast. The air you breathe could be hazardous to your health. Don't guess. Be sure with a phone call to the Memphis Mold Inspector, the only licensed mold assessor in the Mid-South. Call the Memphis Mold Inspector to check the air quality inside your home or office. Call 901-292-7788 for clean air and peace of mind. 901-292-7788 or visit memphismoldinspector.com.
It's summer. Time to enjoy long days, lazy nights, and zero cooking. Because Uber Eats has deals all summer long. So when hunger strikes, don't sweat it. Delicious deals are just a tap away on Uber Eats. In app for details.
One thing Bell Tavern can say with confidence is that you won't find a better selection of bourbon, whiskey, and scotch anywhere else in Memphis. Maybe anywhere. With signature cocktails like the 3 Whiskey Old Fashioned, the Barrel Aged Manhattan, and the Spicy Margarita, paired with the whiskey flights like the Tennessee Bourbon Flight and the Maker's Mark Flight. There are more amazing drink options at Bell Tavern than you could possibly work your way through in one visit. In fact, it would take many, many visits to Bell Tavern to even make a dent in the extensive selection. Grab an Uber and head to Bell Tavern.
Spring is in the air, and it's the perfect time to grill, chill, and save with Choates. Install a new generator, tankless water heater, or Carrier HVAC system, and you'll get your choice of a free green egg grill or 36 months no-interest financing. Stay powered during storms, enjoy endless hot water, and slash your cooling costs this summer with the high-efficiency Carrier system, and grill some slow-smoked barbecue on us. But hurry, this special ends soon. And if you're dealing with plumbing or electrical problems, Choates is here for you too. Give us a try and take $60 off your repair. Leaky faucet, clogged drain, broken outlet, lights flickering? Call Choates and save $60 on your plumbing or electrical repair service. Call 347-8086 or visit ChoatesHVAC.com today. And remember, Choates, let our family serve your family.
Wally Hatchet serves breakfast all day and Southern comfort food for lunch. Hatchet fans love our huge omelet, breakfast Sammys, scrambles, and chicken and waffles. For lunch, check out the Mississippi pot roast, chicken fried steak, grilled meatloaf are one of our best-selling burgers, lipstick on a cow. Pickup, delivery, and catering are also available. Visit WallyHatchets.com to order online. Wally Hatchets is located at 6439 Summer Avenue and open from 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. Tuesday through Sunday. Wally Hatchets. Count your blessings, not your calories.
Sports 56 mornings on Sports 56. This hour brought to you by Today's Floors and once again, Greg Gaston.
Brooks Koepka is fading after getting to 3 under par twice today. He has now dropped back to even par, bogeyed 18 and then 1 and 2, obviously starting on the back nine today in Oakmont, or at Oakmont, round 2 of the U.S. Open. From the NBA, the Spurs are expected to hire Corliss Williamson, according to Mark Stein, the former Arkansas Razorback. He'll be an assistant coach on new head coach Mitch Johnson's staff. Of course, Mitch taking over for Greg Popovich, who has retired. But retired from coaching. Still will be a big part of the front office of the Spurs. All right, so the College Baseball World Series. I just think as time has gone on, I've appreciated it more and more and more. And we were talking to Steve Sands earlier about, events that we'd love to go to, and he's called a couple of College Baseball World Series. I had no idea he did, but I would just like to go. And I know you said you would too. I think it's probably a lot of fun. And this year, it's a very interesting group of teams. You have absolute baseball powers that have been there so many times, like LSU, and then a team like Murray State that's never been there. Coastal Carolina, which has won a national championship, I think it was 2016, in the last decade, last 10 years. But not known as like this all-time power. But then you have Oregon State, which has been really, really good, that comes from no conference. They were an actual independent this past season. Louisville in the ACC has always had a good baseball program. Arizona has that great history. UCLA, that great history. And then there's Arkansas, and we've talked a lot about them, and Dave Van Horn, one of the best coaches, I think, ever to have never won a World Series, and now has that opportunity. And maybe the favorites. Do you have odds, by the way? Have you seen odds on the College World Series?
I believe Arkansas's I know Arkansas.
Yeah, they're the favorite, right?
And then LSU's the second favorite. They're the two highest ranked teams remaining.
And again, if Arkansas can win, again, Dave Van Horn, it'll be a very popular win. He'll get that World Series title that's eluded him. but also it will be 6 straight years that an SEC team has won the College Baseball World Series and no repeat winner. That's just nuts. Think about that. Do you have any idea, Elijah, about who the what conference has the longest World Series winning? It's got to be this one, right? Especially with different teams, it's got to be them, absolutely. But maybe there was, back in the day, a great program that won 4 in a row or 3 in a row. I just don't know that history of the College Baseball World Series that well.
Arkansas is plus 210. LSU's plus 220.
That's close.
Murray State is plus 4,000 if you believe the Racers can continue the Cinderella run. They are at plus 4,000 to win the College World Series.
Are there jaw cleats? Can you get Nike to make some jaw cleats for the Racers at the College Baseball World Series?
I could, I guess. I'm sure.
He's got some clout.
He tends to have a little power. They are. They are. It's a great story. I mean, to see a team like that. I mean, people posted the whole thing where the coach mows the field. It's like there's no money whatsoever in that program, and to be in the College World Series and in their bracket. It's them, UCLA, LSU, Arkansas. You talk about one of these people's doing their own thing, budget-wise, when it comes to baseball. Completely different animal.
Well, again, it shows you at least still in this day and age now, transfer portal, NIL, that some of these schools, maybe not necessarily football, but they can compete in the Olympic sports, the non-revenue sports, although baseball certainly makes money at some of the schools. We know a lot of the SEC schools. But the point is that you can have a team like this. Are they a Cinderella? Yes. Plus 4,000. They're a Cinderella. And that's the other point I want to make, that people still love a Cinderella. They love a David versus Goliath. In this case, David versus Goliath. We love that in sports. There's always some people that say, oh, man, you know what? We just want to see the best teams. Well, you want to see good teams, and Murray State's proven they're one of the best teams, but come on, they're still a Cinderella. They're still a Cinderella. Oklahoma City this year was a behemoth in the NBA, but they don't have this long track record, so it's new blood. Indiana has never won it. It's new blood. No, they're not Cinderellas. They got great players. Murray State, again, putting together that group like that coach did and them all coming together is a great, great story. If Murray State won the College Baseball World Series, they're in my opinion, like the SB team of the year. When you're that much of a long shot. Did you find anything, Elijah, on that?
No, I wasn't able to find anything.
Okay. You got to think, absolutely, there hasn't been a conference that has produced 5 straight World Series titles that are all different schools. There's no way. And then if they win it this year with Arkansas, it would be 6. Now, if LSU wins it, it would be a repeat. Because they didn't win last year, but LSU, who won last year?
Tennessee.
The
Murray State, I just pulled up a random game off of their schedule, their home game. The announced attendance was 250 people. Whereas Arkansas draws, I don't know what that place holds, but you're talking these SEC schools that draw
They're cathedrals.
10, 11, 12,000 a game. And Murray State's drawing 250 people for a game, and yet somehow they're in the College World Series. One of the last 8 teams are being just absolutely crazy.
And the hope is that next year it will improve to maybe 300 people a game.
If they're lucky, if they perform well. Let's see here. Where did it go? I thought I had the thing here with as far as the number of wins by conference overall, and I don't have. Where did that just go?
A couple other things before we call it quits for the week. Russell Westbrook has reportedly declined a $3.5 million player option. He will become a free agent. He had a resurgence year, wouldn't you say, in Denver? Russell Westbrook? Still a valuable commodity, I think.
He was okay. I mean, it's normal Russell Westbrook. At times he looks terrible, and at times he looks good.
But you get him cheap, I think he's a valuable asset for a team. Cincinnati Reds left-hander Wade Miley is accused in court documents of providing the drugs that killed Tyler Skaggs, the old Angels pitcher who died of an accidental overdose in 2019. Skaggs' former agent Ryan Hamill said in a deposition that Skaggs told him he was using pain pills containing oxycodone, and they were provided by Miley. Miley, 38 years old, is not facing criminal charges. It's not the first time his name has come up in relation to Skaggs' death. I wonder if something will be done or can be done. I mean, I guess, can you prosecute him? Can you... If that's the direction they want to go in, for somebody providing, like he didn't force them to use them, but again, apparently in court documents provided the drugs that killed Tyler Skaggs. That was a sad story from, gosh, when was that? 2019, 6 years ago.
So the Pac-12 has the most baseball titles with 18.
Okay.
SEC has 16. The WAC, by the way, third.
How whack is that?
In College World Series titles with 7. Then the Big Ten with 6. The PCCCIBA has 6. The hell is that?
I have no idea. How many different...
Pacific Coast Conference
of Intercollegiate Athletic...
What is the... Oh, let's see.
Is the SEC, do they have the most...
Pacific Coast Conference, California Intercollegiate Baseball Association.
Okay.
So who the hell were these? Who are these champions?
I don't know. I just want to know, does the SEC have the most different amount of winners? Or how? Like who from the Pac has won it? Arizona State, UCLA... Just curious where the SEC stands. They have to be number one, right?
As far as
different
teams that
yeah.
win.
I mean, right now they're riding a 5-year winning streak.
I mean, especially if you could include certainly current SEC members, but the Pac-12 had USC, Arizona State, Arizona, Oregon State, Stanford, Cal.
UCLA hasn't won one?
UCLA.
Oh, there we go. That's 7 right there. And I don't care. They moved out of those conferences. I'm talking about, currently. I mean, not currently.
Let's see. That's, I think, all of theirs.
That's 7.
The SEC has LSU, South Carolina, Vanderbilt, Missouri. Although Missouri wasn't in the SEC when they won it.
Right,
so.
right. I won't count that.
Florida, Georgia, Mississippi State, Tennessee, Ole Miss.
That's 8 right there. So that's got to be the most. So again, it gets underway today. Enjoy the baseball. And for the folks in Omaha or planning to go to Omaha, enjoy the Rocco's Jell-O shots.
The California Intercollegiate Baseball Association was a division under the Pacific Coast Conference, which operated under its own charter. Apparently, the Pac-12 actually claims that history, but technically that was a different conference at some point way back when. I don't know who the 6 champions, I don't know which school it is that they're counting those championships for.
We'll leave it on that note as we try to not only entertain but educate as well. That'll do it for us this week. I want to thank you, folks. Thank you for listening, your calls, your texts. We always appreciate it. Thanks to John Varlas, to Tigers quarterback Brendan Lewis, to Joe Tomek for joining us on the show today. Coming up next, it's Wolo and Friends on Sports 56, so stay tuned for that. We will talk to you again on Monday, starting at 7 a.m. For Eli Savoy and for Elijah Seegers, I'm Greg Gaston. Have a great weekend, everybody.